Hello everyone and welcome back to Easy Breezy TV. My name is Breezy. I am the android cat girl and chaos machine running this place. How are you doing? So now, today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some art. As I said, I have actually provided a little bit of, set up a thing, kind of set up myself a little bit of a little curriculum, a little bit of a class, a little bit of some educational stuff to prep us this morning, so I'm really looking forward to showing y'all. I'm going to try to cover a few things here, but first let me say hello to everyone. Inquisitive Raven, Zoe, Ramses, thank you for coming on in early. You're good class. You're the good classmates. You're the ones that the other students should really be looking up to because you're paying attention. Okay, so thank you for that. It's basically coated in lighter fluid. Wait, what? Is set fire to the entire moon of Titan? That would be. What are you? No fire! No fire in the classroom. Put that Bunsen burner down, Zoe. No. Now, what we're gonna do is has nothing better to do. Don't burn anything down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna teach a few things. I had some ideas in mind. I want to show y'all how I draw a head. I've done that before, but I have a slightly better knowledge on that now. I'm gonna show y'all how I basically work off of references, and on top of that, I'm going to show y'all something kind of neat about, like, basically how I develop my style and how you should develop your style. Ideas of how to do that and how to do that constructively. And ultimately, we're gonna draw something, and it's gonna be cute. So, we're gonna do that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in. My camera's gonna look a little weird as for where I'm facing, just because I have indeed propped my little camera where I am, just kind of on my monitor, you know, on my little stylus. Tablet, excuse me. It's on my tablet. So, I'm gonna be awkwardly positioned a little bit, but it's gonna work. It's gonna work fine. We've done this before. Finally start back up on the art train last night. It was just basic practice work, but it's something. No, yeah, listen, I do that all the time. Do basic practice work. I really still need to do, like, a proper, I gotta do, like, a proper thing where I just sit down and work on more hands. I'm not great with hands. Hands are not going great for me. Hands are that's how I suffer, is hands. Hands don't love me. They beat me up when I was a kid, and I'm traumatized by hands. I gotta work on hands. Lately I've been working on, like, considering musculature and bones in the structure of the body, and just, you know, in general, working on things like feet and things like, you know, just how the body kind of lays naturally. But there's a lot of little things I've been messing around with, and I think I'm going to be able to show y'all some fancy shit. Those hands got hands. Oh, damn. Hands can eat fat dick. No, yeah, hands are mean. Hands are dumb anyways. Everybody should get hooks. Absolutely. That'll be easier to draw. But for the time being, as we were. I was smart. I was a good little cat. I got some water. Huh? Everyone, hydrate, right? Something dawned on me. I don't think I still have the apple thing, as I don't think I still have a 3D apple you can chuck at me when you send things at my head. Thank you for the head pats, Caitlin, thank you. But, like, I should make it so that the apple is the only thing that gets thrown at me when I'm a teacher, you know, when I'm teaching stuff. That would be really funny. Oh, I should also set up the position so things actually hit me, shouldn't I? Let me, and then there we go. Awesome. Okay, so with that, without further ado, let's hop on in, shall we? I'm also gonna make this a little bit smaller, just for my capture. Here we go. Okay, so here we are. God, we really went down in viewers. But yeah, here we are. Let's fucking go. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show y'all what I've set up for you here. So basically, when you're drawing a head, and I cannot stress this enough, when you're drawing anything that has to do with anatomy, that has to do with, like, the human body, like, always be using real people. Always be using real images of people. Be turning off your safe search, go into Google Images and search nude or, you know, whatever kind of clothing you're looking for, put in gender presentation here, position you're looking for. Always work with humans. Traditionally, I will take photos of my own hands if I'm going to be making hands and I need a reference for a hand. If I'm going to, my wife has been really, really great lately about, like, posing for me and helping me figure out, like, you know, she offers to just pose and, like, help me see where things lay on a particular angle when someone's in a human pose. I needed her for the last thing I did. I don't know how many of y'all are on my Patreon, but anyone who's on patreon.com/asnesbo, you've seen that little armpit picture, that little naughty photo I've posted up on my art pages of Haichu. Yeah, there's some nudes of that, and it looks It's probably the piece of art that I am the proudest of. I was studying so many different things and just fine-tuning that. I spent 2 basically solid work days and some making that happen, and I'm really, really proud of it. So, really, really glad about that, and I've never felt more ready to teach something, because I feel like I'm really getting great. So, I'm, 300% down for art stream. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Let's see, hydrate or dihydrate, yeah. Hi, not here for long, but here. I'm happy you're here, Oak. We're gonna dive right in now. So, anyway, how do I draw stuff, though? How do I draw the head? Let's just start with that, right? So, like I said, always work with a human. Let's say you search Google Images for bald man. Look at this handsome fella. Look at this dude. Look at him. So regal. He knows what he's doing. He knows how he wants his head to look. He doesn't just pretend to not be bald. He's like, you know what? I shaved this by choice. Screw you. So we got this guy. And, well, you see, there's something to learn about this, is you've got a head, right? Making a head is like, here's a circle, right? There's always like a circle. And I do really recommend kind of working off of human heads like this, like trace a head to build your head, especially when you're just starting out, because it's easier to figure out where it is. What some of you might have seen is, sometimes when I drew older things, I would put kind of more of a curvature on the face. Don't do that. Actually, the Atari, or crosshairs as it is, on the front of the face should be pretty straight. Just pretty straight, making it easy to kind of figure out where everything goes. And basically that decides where everything else goes, but that's all to be considered. And then what I usually do is I make a little, like, not quite that round off, and also let me make this a teeny bit more visible, but like, I'll tend to draw the cheekbones and the chin and everything, after the fact, like so. But let's say I don't want anything as long and defined, and I want to make that a little bit shorter. Well, to start with, if I was to follow the lines here and draw a more realistic head like this, traditionally, hold on, this man did not commit war crimes in Bosnia in 1994. No, he didn't, but you know who did? Every president. Anyway, so we get rid of, like, all of this extra junk. We don't need all this. We just, this is the idea. But once you've done that, you basically get this. And the reason that there's some other lines here, and let me explain these as well, let me actually zoom in. So what we have here, this dark blue box that you're seeing right here. I don't know if you're seeing you are seeing my stylus, yay. So basically, you've got this little blue box here. This kind of, traditionally this should follow the jawline. I gave it a little bit more like lacking here, a little bit more slack, but in general, you follow the jawline with this lower one, which is why it goes up like here. And these are like different facets. This is the sides of the face. This is the front-facing side. This is where the eyes, do not let the eyes spill out of here. This is the limitation to where this is the front of the face, okay? Every head is a box. So you want to keep everything within this little blue frame here. That purple is just like the red on the back there, kind of, showing where that is. In consideration to everything in the red here, this is just the side of the face. This is where we draw from the brow, right over here, to right over here at the top of where the ear starts. And that's kind of the straight line from which we decipher the basically right angle. Exactly the right angle, and consider, like, I didn't draw it perfectly, but you know what I mean. You're considering this is a right angle to that, and it's just this perfect little squared off area. Best way to map a face. Alternatively, there's also the option of, like, if you want to say, okay, when I'm drawing a head, I've got a circle, right? Where do I do with the circle? I don't know, maybe I draw from up here, and I'm just like, all right, figure out until I feel like something is indeed a face. I use this box traditionally to figure out, okay, that is, I really draw this stuff really quick, because this is all in the sketching phase, and I want to get this figured out, right? So this is where I go, okay, yeah, the box looks good there, that looks like a face, this looks like the right amount of space to consider, and then we put like a kind of a circle over here on the circle, we put a line through it, put an ear here. You get the idea. But as you've seen me before, this is how I do that. But I also want to mention this line up here. This over here, if we consider the top of the crown, from where we can basically figure that's right up here, on the top of the head, and then you've got kind of the brow line here, then what we have over here, and kind of the middle point of that, of here and of here, is this is the hairline. This is where hair would go. If we're drawing hair on a character, this is where you would have bangs protrude from. So say if I'm coming from like right up here and I want to be like, okay, here's some bangs, here's that, and then like you have like the underside of the bang, you can see this, and it's like, oh hey, look at that, look, there's depth. Oh, that is fancy. God damn, Breezy, you're a good artist. But that's where it's coming from. We know where to draw draw hair from. And traditionally, sometimes you can run out of forehead, sometimes you can run out of head, and the reason for that is that a lot of beginning artists, as and I say this because I did this as well, here's how I drew the eyes real big. You want big anime eyes, right? So let's consider this. Why I drew them down. A lot of people draw eyes at like the base of where eyes go on the human skull, and then they'll just make them go up. And that takes out where the brow goes, and then you put bangs on it, and you have a flat head. You have a cute little anime girl flat head. But yes, you want big. You want the big eyes. Exactly, Zoe. Do you draw all of this every time, or would you say that you've internalized it and just skip over steps? Yes and no. I try to freehand as much as I can, but I do kind of work a lot of this into my sketching just as kind of a rough sketch. Because really, that's the thing. I want to make sure everything's right first. In the sketch phase, so I will traditionally use this. I don't do every one of these steps, but these are all kind of separate things you can use to make sure that you're, if it looks off, if something doesn't look right, you can go, okay, this is what's wrong. Or like maybe I let the eye spill out, outside of the box here, or I didn't draw a considerable nose, or like, because you want the crosshairs here on the face to be pretty straight, because it's also like this is where the base of that is. This little like rhombus here, or whatever the hell you call one of those, can kind of separate where you want the eyes to be, and the way to draw that from the center is to figure, okay, you want this to be about the length of the eyes you're drawing. It's pretty easy to third that and figure out where it goes, and then this curvature up here kind of tells you consider for there's a brow here, that this is where the skull kind of tapers off. It's just an easy way to figure that out. The nose, the mouth, and everything is pretty proportional to each other. You just kind of space it out where it looks good. But I mean, I feel like that's a great way to put it, though. Another thing you'll notice is that this hairline kind of, when you follow a hairline, it kind of goes like around the top there, just flat on the top, out a little, well, actually like in a little bit damn near, and then out again. That's where hair comes from. This is where all these considerations are made. So when you're done considering every one of these, you're like, okay, Breezy, I get you, you're great, but you draw cute little anime women. How do you draw like a more like feminine manga head? Well, it's very, very simple, you see, because what you do is you say, okay, let me draw it smaller. And this is, again, that little line there where I'm like, okay, shape the face. I didn't even draw that one well, but again, another method. So you draw the circle, you draw the cheeks, you got it going, and you want to kind of, if you're working off a head like this, I, again, freehand this without using a head reference now. But to show you how I kind of figure that out, we go, okay, let's maybe, instead of drawing it from, like, I don't know, down here, like down here, let's draw it from a little bit higher. So if you draw it with like a little bit less depth downward, the chin becomes lower, you can kind of widen the area here, you see, and then that comes up from a different angle. So what you get when you do that is you get rid of this here, you'll start seeing something like this. So now you've got like, oh hey, look at this, this might look kind of goofy on the fellow here, but look, see? The feminine head. It's just like drawing that in, sort of a manga style is just about like you got this. And another note I didn't point out there, and I should have, is you've got that little curvature in the head. We're looking upward, so it's a little bit more dubious, but when you're looking dead on a face or at a corner of a face or anywhere you're looking at the head pointing, you've got like this centerpiece where it kind of dimples in from like the forehead to the cheekbone. That's kind of the center of where you want the eyes to lay right there. That's just like, okay, this is where the eyes go right there. It looks great. It looks wonderful. Everyone loves it. Ain't it something? You can also go as far as to lower this brow thing like into where you think the center should be for the eye there, just to kind of keep track of where the eyes should lay. Helps you figure out where it lays on both sides of the head. Another little thing that's just, if you consider that beforehand, helps out a little bit. It really does help me. But yeah, he's Moe now, exactly. So, and the reason I drew cat ears here too is I learned another fun thing. I don't usually pick much up from those little shorts on YouTube from, God, what the hell's their name? It was like, it's I gotta look this up now. My God, there's an artist. That was it. They go by Kawaii Sensei or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's it. So Kawaii Sensei, I think, is one of the artists on YouTube with a bunch of shorts where they pointed out like when you're drawing cat ears. And I've never considered this until recently, but you'll notice it's a part of my design, which I just kind of, didn't really realize I was doing, is that when you draw cat ears or anything like that, you want those to come from basically where the edge of the eye is. You see this straight line here? That's where you want that to start showing up on the inside of the ear there. It's just right there. Well, I guess that would be, you know, I didn't really draw this one well, but see, if I wanted to, map it here, draw the ear from there, you know, everyone's happy. So you got some ears there, and then that's how you figure out how to space ears if you want to do the Nekomimi thing. There you go. That simple. Wonderful, beautiful stuff. Just really, really grand. And that's a great little spacing method to keep in mind. So then now that you have this, now that you have all that going on, let's move a few things over. I'll just put this back where I had it because I also want to show you this little slide here. So this is where I take advantage of, this is the hairline, right? You know, you've got hair coming from all over. It's kind of protruding downward. Because the hairline's here, I could also kind of just like get rid of all of this extra stuff here. If I want to say like, okay, let's get rid of like this here and just have that be sort of where the hair kind of starts sort of showing up from. It's just that it is coming from up top as well, though. It is coming from follicles all over here, but this is the limit to where things are growing from, you see. And so that makes more of a difference in these bangs here, where all of this happens. You see under here, that's a really good thing. Always have it so you can kind of see the under of the bang. It's like, oh, it's so 3D. Because here's the thing, that and how I'm going to show you how to color hair, that is how you create depth. Like, you want to show volume in the hair, and it's all about how you illustrate it. I used to do a lot of different, like, you know, shading and drop shadowing for the hair and go, yeah, it's 3D, but then I looked back at my old stuff recently. Ow! Why? This is art? Monsieur de Voltaire gazing upon the stickman drawing I made. Zoe, thank you for the subscription. Holy shit, you are now ad-free. Hell yeah, let's go. Thank you for your support. So, yes, this, so you can see this is all pretty straightforward now. This is pretty easy to understand. This is how you draw a head. But anyway, yeah, in my older drawings, I found that when I was just using, like, drop shadows and shading for the hair shouldn't be tentacles either. Like, that's the thing. You see, like, here I've got, like, oh, look at this, a little bit of hair peeking out of here that kind of falls back into the hair here, and you know, I've started doing that and putting more fold into like showing how the curvature of hair looks, maybe even having it fold out a bit more like that instead of folding directly in. Give it some play, give it something that goes, hey, hair isn't tentacles, but how you texture it and how you design it and how you draw it can show like little bits of it popping out to go, yes, this is a bunch of strands of hair without it being a million tiny strands of hair, you see. So these are all just the little things that you want to keep an eye on. Sick of these ads. No, yeah, the ads suck. Fuck ads. Ads are dumb. So there you go. And then there that is, there this is, little hair, little everything, and it's very, very pretty. It looks amazing. That's how we do a head. And yeah, to answer the earlier question, I do consider all of these things. I am anal about how I do stuff. I would show you some of the some of the rough sketches, the rough sketch layer of the last few things I drew, but they're not Twitch appropriate. I would get in so much trouble. The proletariat has taken the snobbery out of it and has brought it back to the people with cat ears. Exactly. So here we have that, here we have this. This all looks good, you get the idea. Now here's where we go with this. We can draw with these heads, you can go, okay, so you got a circle, let's draw this from, you know, you've got like this little area here, and you're like, all right, so here's kind of the crown of the head, here's like that middle part there, here's the brow, we draw some kind of, some eyes here, and we got this girl over here, we kind of drew that in like a more kind of feminine, kind of puffy way, with like the chin kind of protruding down there. And what you have here is Anime Doug, where he's got this little journal here, and he's just like, I'm going to write Roger Klotz's name in my death note, and she's just like, oh, Doug, you're so vengeful. And then you got Pork Chop down here from JoJo's. You know, it's as simple as that. It really quite as simple as that. Anything but Iggy. No, Iggy. So yeah, you get the idea. So what I want to do today, if I may be so fantastical, this is not a like full detailed drawing I did, but I finally found this. It's a little illustration that I did of Eevee. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you how I do stuff. Roger has it coming. No, yeah. Also, I realized if I wanted to draw anime Roger Klotz, I would just have to draw Ganondorf, basically. So anyway, you know, so I'm gonna show you just on this more simple drawing here, actually, real quick, how I do hair. And I'm going to mention a few names here. How I do all of the sort of figuring out anatomy, head shape and spacing, how you consider like the bones in a body. Like this isn't really perfectly done if I was sitting around kind of like fetching about it. It's like, oh, here's a neck, here's kind of the trapezoidal muscle, here's kind of this little curvature upward or outward, depending on if they're shrugging or if they're kind of like, you know, you figure out where you want those things to lay, and just consider that there are bones in here, you know, that this is all kind of a matter of like, yeah, here's here, the back comes in, then there's the hips, you know, and I'll get more into that later. But the point is, when you want to mess with doing anything with like human anatomy, I really can't stress it enough. Go to Hide channel on YouTube. They are where I got all of my basic, my basic design fundamentals, essentially, where you figure out how to draw things with, like, some level of, like, 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. Sachi, welcome! It was 2 years ago that I realized, like, okay, I want to illustrate better. You know, I've been sketching around my whole life, but I want to actually draw better, so I had to learn theory. The best way to learn theory is Hide channel. That channel, the guy on there does, like, he explains things that are really daunting, overly like complex things that are in drawing books from other mangaka, which I still use for reference. Don't do any kind of like how to draw anime books if they are not manga books from actual mangaka. Do not go into a craft store and buy that garbage, I swear to God. Get something that is of the actual you know what I mean? But basically, you want to find out how to do basic, just how to draw body fundamentals. Hide channel is the best for that. But how I do hair is a funny thing, you see. With these little extra details here, you know, you see this little kind of breaching out here, coming out there, the curvature of the hair, how I consider for bangs, and like the movement of hair to show that there is indeed hair and not like tentacles on the head. I looked up a slightly more kind of detailed artist who I really fell into and taught me not only how I kind of add a few of their touches to the hair that I do, but they also showed me several other things. Let me find their channel here. But basically, I can actually find this in my history. Let me search through my history. So basically, if we go down here, they have a little channel. I gotta remember their gosh darn name, though. But it was... because I want to give credit here. I want to make sure that I'm letting y'all know. Here we go. So, the artist I'm talking about is someone else I found on YouTube who I've been watching for, like, you know, how to draw hair, how to, like, shade hair and everything. And their name, you can find a lot of their videos. Yeah, they're all on YouTube for free. Their name, if I can get this damn thing to load. Ah! No, possibly not royalty-free music. No! Oh god! I'm sorry, my laptop is bugging out right now. Fucking! Okay, so their channel goes by the name of Kuroshiro. And I'm gonna link all of my references here on the Discord when I'm done here, and on the YouTube when this exports. But Kuroshiro does amazing, beautiful art. A lot more male characters that have helped me kind of learn how that sort of thing works when I want to draw male characters, because I draw a lot of girls. I'm a girl. I like girls. Girls are great. 7-year-old me getting a How to Draw Dragon Ball Z book. Oops. Yeah, you know, we were all there. We were all young and stupid, but we're better now. We're stronger now. So yeah, Kuroshiro, amazing work from them, and they've taught me the hair methods, but more than how it lays, I want to show y'all again on this more simple little, like, hey, here's a little Eevee drawing, ain't she cute? And she is, in real life too. Shout out to women. Hey, women! So basically, here's this hair. I'm gonna show y'all with this more basic layout how I do some of the hair you've been seeing me create on my other drawings. Like, I've been having some fun, right? So basically, let's take this and make this. First thing you want to do, let's take... And this is my favorite tool these days. I used to like kind of color in everything around here with a fill bucket, fill this in another layer, create a bunch of unnecessary steps because I didn't actually understand how to use a lasso. It's very simple. You just go into the little select layer here, and we'll just go to shrink selection. See, I thought if you use this that it would shrink what you were selecting, and I was like, that's not what I want. That's not what it does. It basically shrink wraps itself around the shape you're working with, and you can go like, oh, okay, that's great. So you just kind of take that, that'll take the area you're gonna work with, take the base color, preferably just the thing you're going to see the most of, what you want to be kind of the base color as well. Let's use a skin tone, somewhere between like red and orange, a little bit high up here, something in like a peach range. And I'm just going to make a huge pen, and I'm just going to fill it all up. Not like that though. We're gonna start a raster layer. Raster layer is just a normal layer here. The one to the side here that has like a little cube on it. That's a vector layer. So that's going to be a more malleable, more segmented kind of like when we're drawing. That will give us more freedom as to how we erase, how we draw, how we move things. We don't need that right now. Like really, you should only be using that for line work like this. This little raster layer thing here, we use this for just everything from, you know, the sketch phase that before we do the line work over it, to the coloring, how we do the color stuff. We start with flats, just boom, skin color, bring that to the back. There we go. And then that's that. I didn't select the chair here just because I did not close that off well enough, so I'm going to fix that now. Let me go ahead and bring this over. Also, apologies for my throat. Like, I think I've just been running around a lot today. I recently did some shopping. And you know what else I've been realizing? I've been talking to people more. Like, I've just been way more sociable lately. I don't know what it is. Heading to bed anyways, nice to hang. For sure, Oak, have a good night. So, you know, this is gonna be really fun to show y'all, just the many little things that I learned on how to do this stuff. You're gonna love it, you're gonna see. Let's go to my line work here and close this off so we can actually select it. Where's my brush size too big? I've also started moving from drawing with 4 to drawing with like a size 3. Just like a 3 pixel size little brush, just making it finer, making it thinner, just because I'm not always making stickers that need to pop. I'm trying to make finer details, you know, have more resistance in how I execute certain lines and what have you, and that could be fun. Let's even bring this down a bit to like 3 here, and just bring that in here. Whoop. Perfect. Let's try closing this up again, shall we? So here's that. Here's let's bring out the shrink pen again, just like, all right, there's a little selection thingy. No, here it is. So we'll just take this little lasso here. I'm gonna surround this area again, just the whole thing. It'll get it. So then that'll still go down into this little flats area here where I have that peach color. We can even just steal it from that layer and just make it big. Make it big. Always go big mode. There it is. So there's our chair. I'm gonna show you how I do the hair stuff. First things first, what you want to do is grab yourself this little bit here. Let's go into the layer above it. Let's make a layer above this flat layer here. But actually first, something dawned on me. I didn't have that kind of creating a resistance here. You see this little line outside these black lines here? Little learning mistake here that I can help y'all out with. That happened because when I was using this little selection thing, I wasn't telling it to use area scaling. Traditionally, this by the matter of a pixel will determine certain things. It's easier for me to fill lines if I let it kind of go inside underneath the line by a certain margin. But because I didn't, it just kind of spilled over. So instead of doing that, let's try that again, but do this by, I don't know, like +1. And then we'll just kind of redo the same thing. Just take this lasso, whoop-de-diddly-ding-dang-do, and delete. Not like that. That's not what we want. But anyway, sorry. If I get rid of this, actually, let me try that again. So yeah, get rid of the backdrop. Let's do this again. Boom, 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 boom. Select that. Boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room. Erotic. Great band. So that selects there. Let's bring this, take this out here. All of that. Delete it. Please? There we go. Sorry. So let's select that without that background there and just create a new backdrop there in this sort of peach color here. And look, it's not spilling outside the lines because there's a consideration for keeping things within the parameter of the lines, because we have over here on the left here, nice little amount of, well, I mean, if I have the darn selection selected, the shrink selection here, I've also got it inward by 1 pixel. See, look at that, look at those lines, nothing spilling out except that, but that's just because, you know, we couldn't close it around that more minute gap. But that's fine, it's easier to edit. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. Actually, that's fine. Take the little subtool here, this little like wand, and just tell it like, you know, referring to all layers here. In fact, better yet, let's just refer to this layer with the lines here. Just to the editing layer, select around there. Oh my god, what is going on there? Oh, is that my tolerance? Turn my tolerance down. I mean, I tolerate everyone so well. Sorry, so actually we can put this over all of the layers, in fact, because we're going in a bit. We're going to take the wand. Sorry to repeat myself, I am not perfect, I am not a god. Pop this in here, Try again. Get rid of that. No, not the lines. Undo. Get rid of that layer, the layer with the beige in it. And see, there. Now it's clean. Now there's no spillage over. Looks great. Looks fine. You love to see it happen, right? So let's get in on here. So this hair here, this little head here, very, very cute, very fun, very, very, very friendly. We're gonna pull this in here just a little bit. Just like that. So we want to create a new color layer for this. So from this flat, from this layer that is just, you know, this, just this layer, this line here, this beige little flat here, we're going to add another layer, just another basic raster layer, and we're going to hit this little thing up here. This little thing right here that says, clip to layer below. So now anything that I draw is going to keep within this parameter. It's only going to hit in the parameters of the layer below it, which is this color. So that's really useful. That's a wonderful thing to have. Yeah, clip to layer below, my beloved. No, yeah, it is the best. I needed the stream. I'll probably add a few rewatches as I work on stuff. Hell yeah. That's what I kind of do these for. I like these to be something you can refer back to and learn from. So if I recall correctly, our dear friend Evie, she is a brunette. Let's bring that, like, kind of a mid-brown, something that we can do like a lighter and a darker of, but just kind of a neutral, sort of shaded brown brunette hair. I really need to drink some water. So let me do that now. Actually, I can feel it. I'm feeling it.
Time to drink up Breezy. Look at this dumb little PTuber. What's wrong? Pathetic little cat can't hold her weight.
You can see the hair
wet
here.
Yourself?
We're gonna try and fill this in. What's gonna help us fill it in is making sure we, if the tolerance is too high, you can bypass stuff, but there's a big difference between the shade of black and a bright beige here, so it's bringing the tolerance up a little bit for how far this will select with the magic wand. Not gonna be too much of an issue. I'd say just make sure it's selecting all of the stuff that you want to be hitting with this. But yeah, just we'll select everything that is hair here. And right around there, this is where the chair comes in, so we don't want to select that. We'll just select all these areas here with the hair. Just get all of that there. And this will be the hair layer, where we're putting all of this color in, but we can make it easier as well by just turning this into a flat by giving it the color that we need to here. So let's take that brunette here, make this just huge pen, and just like, you know, we don't want to fill in separate layers. Just draw over everything, pop it in here, you're done. There's hair. Now, how do I want to shade this is, that's a whole other thingamabobber. Let me show you just how. So first things first, not like that. First things first, I want to touch up anywhere that this missed. Let's bring this pen down quite a bit here, just like... these are actually areas that I think I mostly want to have just be... You can just kind of see through these. There's some hair crossover here and there, but there's also just like, maybe this should be... I can see through that, right? Maybe over here. Let's just select this area. As far as we can. Zoom in. Always zoom in. Collect this stuff here where all of that beige is there, and just delete that. So now you can see through the hair. It's very like, ooh, look at that. You can also just use a basic eraser here, pull this in, just like, it's too coarse. Bring that down, not coarse, but too wide, if you will. And you just erase that. That'll see through to the background now. Perfect, perfect. There's an area that's missed here with like the brunette here. We can just fill this in real nice and quick, right there. Nice. So, here's an Eevee, here's some hair. We're gonna do a little bit of shading, and this is the thing I was mentioning that, like, this came from, you know, from Kuroshiro on YouTube. Figured out how to do what they do with hair. Adding texture becomes very easy with this. What you're gonna do... I found the masking layer feature. Holy shit, no, yeah, that's great. That's the thing, if you're just working within the same layer, like say I'm here on like the beige layer here, and I want to just hit this little, the little like lock transparency right around here, then I can just do that here too. That doesn't affect that any. But basically, by creating another layer and locking it to the one below, you're just kind of mapping that to the below layer as opposed to the layer itself. Either way, it'll keep that in there. So, yes, very, very useful. So there's that. And that, again, you realize when I show you the sketches and stuff that everything that I do takes a lot of time. But the reason I get good and quicker at doing art is because while it does take a lot of time to do it properly, as you get better at doing it properly, you have these skills to just do it right, and it becomes so much quicker. You know, and obviously you need less guidance for yourself as you're working on it, but it's still a lot of work, still a lot of work. This is her ear. I didn't realize I selected that. Let me free the Eevee ear. Let's take this and just... It'll be funny if Eevee comes in and is just like, hey, you're drawing me. I'm like, yep, that's me. The only person I know who, at least to my knowledge, who has an Amplitude shirt, and I am very jealous. So yeah, look at that. There it is. So here's hair. This is how we want it. This is good. I'm even gonna erase a little bit more of the beige backdrop here that this is all pasted on, just because there's some cleaning up to do. There's a little bit of cleaning up to do. That actually just needs some color there. But here's this, get rid of that. That can be filled in, these can be closed off, but it's not really what I'm trying to show you at the moment. What I'm trying to show you is my shading method. I'm gonna pull this, like, back a bit, just a little bit. Where's my darn heckin'... That's not it. Right up in here. Let's get rid of... Oh, that is like a portion of it. There you go. Just get rid of the backdrop. There we go. Very, very pretty. Very good. Oh, I missed some spots! I missed spots! You don't want to miss spots. So don't miss those spots, campers. Just don't do it. Do that, fill that in. Okay, alright. It's hair. It looks pretty, but it's not pretty enough. So what we're gonna do is in this, we're gonna make another layer. And frankly, what we can do, let's keep it on this layer, right? And just, we don't need to do anything, we can just keep it on the brown layer. Just keep it how it is, we don't need to do anything on top of it. We're just gonna use that layer, so lock that layer, boom. With that little lock layer thing over here, with the little lock on the checkerboard there. So that's how that works. Let's do a little bit of fun here. So with hair, you've got the lighting, the dimensions and everything, but we want to have a light and a dark. Where the light's hitting, where it's shadowed. You want to be hyper general with that shit here. You don't need to do anything fancy, just take a big little... I'm gonna bring this down to like maybe like a low level, not very strong airbrush, just a regular soft brush. Make that kind of big, you know what I mean? And we're gonna just make this area a darker version of this brown here, so as we see on the color wheel over here, let's bring this down to like probably the darkest it could be, and still be like visibly brown there. Take this, just right around here. Actually, that's not even vague enough. Let's make this a larger brush, even so. There we go. Just swoop. And then we'll take a lighter version. Let's kind of select that hair color again. That needs to be brighter. So we'll bring that to like, I don't know, like up here, like kind of almost like a dark orange. And we'll take this little spray thing again. And we're gonna move this on up here, and we're just gonna go, there you go. There that is. Nice little brightness on top. Very, very pretty. You can see the light kind of spilling down on there. Looks great. Let's go ahead and take the little thing that I love to call a little blending brush here. Where's my... So this little like flat brush bit here, we're gonna use just a round mixing brush. Holy shit, this thing. Oh my god, this thing. Fun fact, brown is just orange with context, or is it the other way around? I don't actually know. Professor Breezy, you've forgotten the hair by her neck. By Jove, I have. You're a genius, thank you. So there we have the, yeah, no, because here's the thing, I have the chair there, and I was thinking, should I keep the chair there? But you know what? I should just make that hair. I should just make that hair. So not only should I get behind here, I don't need to have the chair here anymore. We can just make that a hair area. So perfect. Here's a little chance to edit something. Let's bring this over here. Let's get the... Yeah, so actually, let me go ahead and undo that. We already know what we're doing, so we don't need to worry about it, but I'll redo that in a sec. Let's take that color, undo some of this stuff here. What am I doing? You never want to hear the teacher say that, I know. Let's do... Okay, back to that. We're just gonna get rid of this little chair bits here. And that'll be the hair there. Let's just take the rest of this, fill that in with that color. Yep. Back into the hair layer, that is. There we go. Awesome. Thank you for that. So yes, here's that. We can go back and kind of knock these little bits out here, because the effect will show better if we have this cleaned up. Oh, and I also forgot to hit that portion there. You see, I talk and I work at the same time, and I just kind of forget what I'm doing. There's that. Let's take a little more of this color, fill that in over here. Pretty. I like it. It looks good. Awesome. So now we're gonna come up here. Here's the hair. I'm gonna fill in the little bits again that we missed. It's right there. Okay. Now we'll do the thing that I said before, where we take a dark, dark brown here, a little bit of the shading here. Not like that, not like that. Lock this layer for the hair. Bam. And then we do a brighter one up here. And yeah, a little bit brighter, why not? Bam. Perfect. So now we have hair. We're gonna take that round brush, that little round mixing brush down over here, in this little flat brush here that'll have all these. The brush size, I try to keep it not too huge, usually a little bit smaller than any of the tendrils of hair that I draw. And, you know, using pressure, we can determine, like, how much we are, you know, influencing this, but it'll basically smear everything. So come from around where the brightest color is up here, and just bring that down a bit. Not like that, though. You want to do that with, let me see here. Oh, the hardness is all the way up, that's why. I've done a lot of these settings on my laptop where I actually draw usually, so on this main computer I gotta reset some things, but there we go. I'm also going to suggest my stabilization. I tend to keep that, because I have a really shaky hand, I tend to pull this up to anywhere from like 96, 95, that area, unless I'm trying to really like more flippantly freehand something. What you're gonna see here is just like from this, you've got like these little tendrils coming down. However, those are a bit too thin. I could make this kind of larger here, because that'll come in handy for what I'm going to show you later as we get a little further in. But here's this brightness here. This is coming down. It's looking great. Look at all these happy little hair. And then we can bring that out over here as well. Just like, yeah, there it is. Look at that. Look at that sheen. It's Gorgos. I love it. So there's that. The dark areas here, we're going to kind of run these up as well. We can also go ahead and just take this like from here. Just whoop. Actually, no, don't do that. Let's select that color. There you go. So we select that color there. We keep that brush again. We just bring that up, just like, yeah, more play of the hair, just coming on up. Nice little kind of long tendrils that give this a little bit more texture. I'm even gonna go ahead and just like color this area in a bit more, kind of darken the lower ends of the hair here. And we're just gonna swipe it up, just have it get a little bit more play up and outward to show that there is like hair flowing this way, that it is just doing what it does. The hair behind her will be darker, we'll consider that in greater detail later, but just right now you've got this sort of boxed off here, in the darkest end there. But from the darkest ends of these, we're just coming upward. I also, again, let me go ahead and free that ear again. Let me get rid of that. Make that just right around there. Perfect. Yes. Our fucking teacher said, "Who's been drawing dicks?" Let me bring this down here. Sorry, Joel, I stole your joke. We're drawing, I could only think of the computer lab story. So there's that. We got the darkness here, that too. So now it's like, alright, well this is a little bit more broad strokes. And we're gonna actually add a little bit of thinning here, because what we can do now, let's take that same brush, make it a little bit smaller, and we'll select the center color we're working with, the base color of the hair here. And we're just gonna have that kind of cut into the points, like in between the points of the rest of this hair, which it'll do something really neat here. Let me show you. Bring this down to like I guess like, I don't know, maybe like a 5, 8, 6, 6. So let's go ahead and take that base color here and just bring that upward into here, just kind of one to keep with the curvature of the head. I'm drawing those, you see already, a little too straight, just like that. We don't like straight things here. I'm gonna make this, you can mess with this to your liking. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, there you go, that looks good. I'm liking this one here. So from that portion that is that base color, create a little bit of movement, a little bit of play in the hair here. Just a little bit of like showing, yeah, this hair is swooping. It be swooping, my friend. You've never seen hair swoop like this. My God, look at that, it's amazing. And that'll also kind of brush into the dark end, downward. So you see, this is already kind of blending together in a very fun and meaningful way. Now, the other thing you're going to notice is, okay, this area is facing the light up top here, right? Well, the way to handle that is just about the same. You go ahead, take our spray paint here, selecting, of course, the shinier area, and just give that the detail. Now that we have the basics done, we can just hop in here and go, okay, there's a little bit more shine there. There's a little bit more of that going on. Just right around there. A little bit more play in the hair. Just very, very playful, very fun. we're just gonna put a happy little tree right over here. Let's take this brush again, just kind of brush this one out from that color upward, just yeah. Look at that hair. Look at them locks, I tells you. I go into a deli and I say, look at them locks. You know, obviously undo as you need to. This is a very kind of free-handed, kind of like work it as feels necessary. There's no right way to do this. Just as long as you're following the concept of following where light's supposed to hit and what you want it to look like, you just undo as need be. But you see how I do the hair I do, right? You see how this is kind of coming together. How also, if I take the base color here, because it's a little bit darker, to kind of give more definition for where the hair is coming from, this too is kind of a great tool for that. Not that, use the brush tool here. You can just kind of get a little bit more play in that, a little more, look at this depth this creates. Look at the three-dimensional niceness of this. It's just so nice. God damn, that's nice. So there that is. This is how I've been doing my hair textures that look so gosh darn pretty. So now there's highlighting. Draw a tree, I dare you, right on top of her head. Don't have to ask me twice. Let's do... what kind of tree? Palm tree. Okay, no wait, not like that. Give me the line layer here. Ooh. Do just like a little bit of... there you go. Just like... little palm tree here, just like branching out. It's like, yeah, there you go. That's little bits of the leaves underneath there. Come fronding out like that. Like, yeah. You can tell I don't draw plants, but that's basically the idea. There's a tree. Anyway, so there's the hair. The highlights. The way to do this... Cypress? What? Do it or no balls. What? No, I did it. Anyway, let me drink some more water. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna sound like Patty Mayonnaise by the end of the stream. So now, highlights. Take this color here, right? This very bold orange brown. Maybe even go like a little bit between there, just like this area where it's smeared together. And let's bring that to a brighter end toward the white, this corner here. I'd even go as far as to just, you know, instead of just going plain orange, make it a little brighter. Make it up here, a little bit more toward the left, toward that, like, that kind of, that whiteness. Oh baby, that whiteness. And we'll take this brush as well, and just kind of add those similar zigzags where you think we're hitting this with the light here pretty directly on this end. Just, hold on a minute, I am not working on the hair layer. Damn it, I also lost a thing. Put that frond back on there. Is that a frond? That's not a frond. I don't know what a plant is. Don't leave me alone. I can't grow plants. They die. So anyway, take this hair color, take the blending brush, and we go to the hair layer. There we go. And just add little bits of play here. It used to just do lines like this, but what you can do actually is make this more of like almost a shape. Like you're considering that this is like more of a solid thing as opposed to a line. It has this sort of play in it. I'm also gonna actually turn down my stabilization for this. Just fill this in. Just fill that in with your nice, wonderful... You gotta use the right brush. You fill this in with that nice little wonderful end here, just a good little like, yeah, there you go. That's filled in, that's bright, that's colorful, it's happy. The people, they love it. They love to see it, right? So you can do that. I think I've been finding like a middle ground here though, where I just kind of draw very thick lines that have a little bit more alteration so they're not perfectly straight. Let's say... What did I do with my brush? Oh, I deselected the brush, that'll do it. So yeah, you just got like, okay, here's that, and then like this and this one, and you just got like a little bit of play in there. A little bit of like, yeah, see, just connecting those lines a bit so it's more kind of, not so much chaotic, but just has a little bit more difference in how it shines off here. And yeah, I'll add a little bit more here as well, yada yada. And this is one of those things where it's like when you're doing this, you can also just kind of pop in here and just keep spreading that outward and just going, yeah, there you go. Happy little highlights. But I gotta be honest, I don't spend a lot of time on highlights. I don't spend like a whole ton of time. So one other thing I will do if I'm in kind of a hurry here is I will say, let's make this... I have this not too dense here. Oh, the density is actually like way up. That is actually a little bit different from how I do things on the laptop. Let's go ahead turn that down a bit. This looks more right. Okay, all right, I see. So here's that, here's a little bit of this. Just keep that with the curvature of the hair. Just a little bit of, like, this is just light shining off it, you know? It's just, you feeling that coming off it, you feeling that become, like, there's little highlights. They're cute, they're fun, they're happy. And I'm actually thinking what I might do with this. Let me make this large, a little bit larger anyway. Just, there we go. A little bit thicker, a little bit, just, there we go. Yeah, there we go. That'll help differentiate it from the strands of hair and just be, here's light hitting this. You can be faint with this, you don't have to go crazy, just enough to kind of create the illusion of, like, here's this curvature of the hair, and it's nice, and you can see this kind of protruding toward the sun, and it's cute, and it's wonderful, and it's lovely, and you're just like, yeah, this is great. But there that is. There's this hair, that looks great. You've got the little highlights on there, and we can also put some down here, right kind of at the curvature here. Where the hair is kind of changing its sheen here with the light. And yeah, that's pretty gosh darn cute, I tells ya. Yeah, there you go. So go back to like a smaller blending brush here, even go as far as to add this little highlight detail into the hair, just a bit, creating a little bit more fun, a little bit more play in the texture. This is indeed shining off of hair. And look at that shit. Look at that. Isn't it something? So there's that. That's gorgeous. That's, I mean, I don't know about you, but look at this shit. Look at this. Just like, yeah, little palm tree on the head, but like, look at that hair. Look at that. It's perfect. So for drawing eyes, I'm actually going to go ahead and draw a different head, just because, again, this is a more stylized, cute little thing here, like a little, like, almost like a sticker kind of thing, but, like, let me show you how I do eyes. Let's draw another head. Let me prove that I can draw a head. Looks great so far. Thank you, Lex. I'm actually going to finish coloring this, because this was just a fun little doodle I was doing for Eevee for fun. But there's that. Let's go now to drawing a head. We're not going to use these characters here. Let me get rid of that. So let's use this head. Let's use this head right here. I'm gonna go ahead, make this slightly more feminine, if I can, by actually changing the way that I utilize this. It is a little bit more frontal, kind of like, something like that I guess would be good. Yeah. And then that also kind of follows the same kind of, you know, cheekbone, jaw density, all that fun stuff. Just like that. I think that'll be good. So, eyes are fun. Eyes are a lot of fun to play around with. I think the way... You're gonna laugh. This is where you're gonna learn something else about how I've discovered my style here. Is, she's hecking dead. What? Well-maintained hair. Looks pretty good, yee. So anyway, here's the thing. With eyes, you're gonna say, okay, here's this. Let me draw, like, this is all just in the sketch phase, too, so it really doesn't matter too much. We can move this around as need be. Let's figure the eyes are gonna be about... Well, again, we want to find what the side of the head will be. Can we do this? Can I please select an actual color? There we go. So we've got, like, the side of the head's gonna be, like, here-ish, because this is where the eyes are gonna have to stop to be a believable side of the head. You know, again, you adjust this, feel it out. That looks to me in the curvature of the head like this is gonna be a front of the face. So with that, if this is gonna be the crown of the head, this will be around where the brow is here. I think so. No, actually, that's down here. So then this will be the centerpiece where we draw kind of like, okay, this is where we're gonna put the hairline, right here, right around there. So get that just right around that area, just like, yeah, it's like a little bit over here. Actually, though, looking at this, I think I would alter this just a bit. Let me, and here's another great thing. So while you're doing the sketching, select you, and I did not use this enough until very recently, the selection pen. You need this moved here. Let me deselect some stuff because everything's selected now. You need to move just this, and this line just down a little bit. Check this shit out. Boom. Select just this one, and this one, and this one, and then just you take the little toggle to select and move things, and okay, yeah, no, you know what? A brow looks more natural right around here. Because again, where this is the top of the cheekbone and the forehead and everything, this is slanted down. This head is slanted down. So we have new markers. Yay. Let's bring this down to... If this is the brow, we're gonna draw that little four-faced thingy here to just go, this is gonna be like the size of the head, like of where we're putting, well, I mean the eyes, excuse me. This will be the size of the eyes, ultimately, to show you the spacing you need. So that has to fall within here, right? So with that, we've got like, okay, this is a good eye size here. Let's say that. Let's make that about the size with this curvature here of the brow. Usually I draw like pentagonal eyes. I've got like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points here. So I usually mess around with how that looks. I try to bring it so that there's a little bit of a hooded lid here. Not even a hooded lid, but just like that sort of upward rise there. Comes to the corner there. We bring this down a bit to the bottom curvature of the eye. And I'll usually fill that in like this and just like give that a little bit of thickness. And this is where I might even draw up a like, oh, here's like this part of the eye. Let's give it a little bit of like cat eye wing. Let's give it some lashes. You know, you can have fun with that. But basically, here's the shape. It'll be considered that here and just like down here is going to be where the rest of the eye is. So let's give this a little bit of an ovular shape here. And the kind of funny, embarrassing thing I was mentioning is where I get my... how I draw the shine in eyes is very, very funny. Because one time I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I watched an incest anime, right? Wouldn't that be funny? I was like, let me just watch this random stupid anime because I've run out of stuff on Crunchyroll. And I came across something... I came across an old favorite called, not of me, mind you, but there's an anime called Lately My Sister Is Unusual. Well, guess what? I fell in love with how they do the shine on the eyes. If you look at my last few illustrations, really most of my illustrations lately, you will see this sort of like, here's this shine on the eye here, and here's like this little bit of like, almost like a lopsided exclamation point, damn near. The way I lay that in, yeah, I know, oh no, right? But I was like, for after watching this stupid anime, the one thing I took from it is, hey, I like the way that they shine eyes. That's really cute. So I started putting that in my work. That's where it comes from. You cannot unlearn that. So here we have this. Traditionally, this should kind of come in too. I have this coming down too much. Again, that's why we use the sketch phase. Nothing needs to be perfect. We can fuck around, erase, and just mess with this. It can be messy. Bring this in a bit. And we're gonna even thicken it kind of at the corner there to just sort of become that portion there. So you got like this point, that point, there's like 5 points here essentially. We got the upper lid here where the lashes are protruding from the end of the eye here, the bottom of the eye, and let's give this like that. Just like that. And the way that and that's another thing, the way I do the eyes is from that anime too. I love how they do like, here's this curvature of like, you know, you've got the top of the iris just kind of becoming this portion that shows, that shines in the light here. This is where the color is going to go, is right here. This will be not quite black, but the darkest of the color of the eye you can make it. To just sort of give that depth of like, okay, this is, nothing is ever perfect. Exactly. I like the art style at least, thank you. Yeah, so like, there's that. And look at that eye, that's right there. So that's looking right at you. Because this is at an angle, we would draw the iris a little bit to the right here, because it's looking at you. So let's go ahead and draw another eye here with considerations to positioning and everything. I would say make this like, you know, and you can also use these guidelines here to kind of figure out where's that coming from. Well, compared to the rest of this, it's kind of easy to figure out where that goes, right? So let's take this, it's about that far out, that far from the top, and it's going to be a little bit shorter in left to right range because, you know, there's like a little bit of an angle going on here, a little bit. But at the same time, it actually needs to be a little bit larger because I just remembered that this little area here is, I'm not quite making that as close to there as it should be. Do not do that. So actually, because, yeah, this is not a dramatic angle either. This is pretty dead on. But usually if we're at like a sharper angle, how I usually draw heads, like from the side to side, like how I'm facing right now, you can see the eye is a lot closer to the nose, because you've got that curvature there. So, you know, if I'm drawing this at more of an angle, it's a little bit closer to the nose, but we're not doing that. This is not a dramatic enough angle. Let's take that little bit of like, a little bit here, longer on the end there. I do this a lot. I spend a lot of time just going like, you know, where do I want this? How's it gonna lay? What the hell am I gonna do? How do I want this to look? The sketch phase is really what takes most of my time. That's part of the reason why I went to making my Patreon tier for $5. You know, that step up being a sticker tier. because when I give people stickers, it's like, okay, you have something tangible you can actually acquire from me, a little bit of art you can put on something. Whereas like before, I was just doing sketches for people. I'm like, yeah, I can just do a sketch for everyone. That caught up with me very quickly because the sketching portion is really what takes most of the time. So, because it's where you're figuring everything out, and I didn't realize that. So after I had, you know, gotten done everything I needed to one month, I was like, okay, we're trying something new. And I love it. I love the stickers I've been making, and they have been a fun new venture to take on. If you want to know where I get my stickers done, talk to me later. I'll tell you. So here's this thing here, a little bit of like, yeah, just considerations for the eyes. There won't be a line here. This will just be where we draw the whites of the eyes when we're doing the color flats there, but just kind of figure out the eyes here. So this is a little too far away. A little too kind of wacky. I don't love that. Let's make this a little bit closer. You can kind of gauge this based off of where this is laying, just like, where is this? Where is this supposed to go? What do we do? And you can kind of gauge off the other eye where everything sits. Oh, am I actually working on like a... I didn't realize I was actually using a vector layer. That makes this a lot simpler. Give me that. Perfect. So then there's that. You got like the brow of the eye coming a little bit further than the end of the eye there. These are just where the lashes come from naturally. That's the illusion we're creating here. So here's that little thickness in the center there, but still kind of creating that point. You get this a little thicker, and there you go. There's some eyes right there. Perfect. Let's do another one. So yeah, the eye here is going to be a little bit closer to the side of the eye here. Not drastically so, like all the way up here as it would be with like a greater turn, but very much kind of in the not centered area. I would say, let's make this, I don't know, like right around here. Yeah. Just like that. But also kind of widen that a little. That doesn't need to be any thinner because, again, not a drastic change in, you know, in anything to do with how we're drawing this. You can also get this head guide layer out of the way. In fact, let me actually go ahead and clean that up. Since I've already drawn this head, I don't need that portion of the reference. Let's just take this portion out here. Just whoop, get rid of that. Don't need that. There. It's only getting in the way. So then we'll do the little iris here. Again, at a more drastic area, I would make this, if this were a stronger turn to the side, I would make this a teeny bit thinner in the iris and have the iris actually come from, let me change this here. That's, no, select the, there you go. I would actually have the iris come from closer to the head. Like a little bit less curvature here and more like that. There. Hey, Squatchulus, thank you for yet another month. 15 months, holy shit. That's my girlfriend, everyone. That's the Squatchulus. That's Sassy Eddie. She's the best. Hi, how you doing? So yeah, I would usually do that, but we're not working with a very dramatic turn here, so I don't need to create the depth in the eyes. So this can just be normal. This can just be like, here's still like this curve here, this curve here. You know, maybe make that a little bit more drastically downward, and you do this here. And there's these eyes. Look at these eyes. Look at these things go. They're amazing. Yeah, it's a little bit rough here, obviously, but, you know, again, this is the rough sketch. This is where you can make all your mistakes and fine-tune everything till it looks good before laying down actual lines. And here's that. There you go. I have definitely... Now, looking at this, as you can see, I've definitely done some things where I'm like, okay, this isn't quite tall enough. Let's mess with the shape of that eye. Let's get rid of some details. Work it out with the other eye until that looks right to you. I love doing, like, dead-on references sometimes, or just, like, someone's facing you excitedly, one of those portraits. Because when you do that, you can always just, you know, from the center of the head, select an exact center, and you can go like, okay, here's a head. Here's like this little, like, this ruler tool here on the left, where you just go to symmetrical ruler, and then you, like, hold shift to keep a fine angle, and just bring that down, and you can be like, okay, cool. So here's like the eyes, and then it's perfect, and everything's wonderful, and you're just like, yay! But, you know, that's more if you're doing, like, dead on. That's only, yeah, but you can do that, and then that helps you figure out where, like, a winking eye would go, or an eye in a different position would go. But it gives you that baseline to figure that out. Again, very, very useful, very lovely. So here we have these eyes here, and that looks decent, that looks okay. I'm even gonna get rid of the other line there for the cheek that we didn't end up using, because that's just gonna end up being confusing if I don't clean that up. There we go, perfect. So there's that. The portion of the top of the ear before, I mean, really just where it starts at the top of the ear, is where the top of the eye is, basically. So we bring that down here, create a little bit of play in that. I tend to make these a little more kind of like sort of ovular, a little bit bigger at the top, and just little fold in there. One little ear. Just nice, easy, a little plug in there, because I have plugs and all of my OCs do, canonically. So there you go. Very nice, very cute, very good. You'll love to see it happen. I might even make that larger, just because I can make that look cuter if it was big. So actually, let me redraw that on the layer here. Let's do... Yeah. And what I'm doing here, you're seeing, this is my process. I redraw things till they look good. That's really what I do. That's the secret. You've learned the secret. That's how it works. Because I'm always like, how do I want things to look? I'm still figuring it out. You know how it is. So I haven't mentioned a lot about like the brow of the head here. Here's where we're figuring out where eyebrows will go and a few other fun little details. I think we're just gonna do like kind of a upward facing, like, hey, that almost looks concerned. Let's do, there we go. So here's a fun thing I learned about, excuse me. Here's a fun thing I learned about drawing as soon as I learned about makeup, right? So when you're drawing a cat eye or something, or like you know where the corner of your eye is, you want your eye makeup to kind of follow the curvature of the eye upward from where the bottom of the lid of the eye is, and that then meets where the brow goes. So drawing on my face with makeup taught me how to draw other faces, which is just take that portion of data there where that's pointing up here, that would meet with this little brow here. And look at that fancy little... Yeah, just like, how's it going? I don't know that I love the exact shape of it, but this is how we find that sort of angle, where we find where that lays. I think this could go a little bit lower, in fact. So make sure that that tip kind of comes to that portion there. And there's that. I might even like make this brush size a little larger. There we go. So there, got a little face. Now I mentioned another thing I started doing is basically from the brow, not even the brow, from like the top of the hairline downward, this should be a flat line that you're working from. It makes it a lot easier to do stuff than trying to work on a curved line. The style of eyeliner I usually see at Kitsune Gals and I want to use when I draw my personal OC. Hell yeah! I would love to see it. I'll help you figure that out, actually, if you want to know about that. Talk to me in DMs over on Discord, I'll help you. But there's that, there's this face, we got some brows going, we're already kind of coming together, we're becoming a person, look at this, it looks great. So with this flat line here, we're gonna kind of gauge where the nose will be. Well, this is kind of the center here. If we're drawing a nose, they'll be protruding from the center. I was thinking, what if we do like, this would be a natural, like, this is a nose. It's a little bit complicated though. Let's just draw it where it would be. Just a little small nose. It's a lot cuter if you just do like a little bit of like, just like that. A little bit of upturn too can be fun, where it's just like very, very faint, but just very like, there's the tip of the nose. You get the idea. For more feminine characters, I tend to do that. But this is really when you're doing a front-facing pose. If you're doing anything more drastically turned to the side, you might have to define that this is where the nose is, and this is where things are laying, and this is, all this other stuff. But when something is a more front-facing face than not, I just do like the little one, so you don't have to just draw like a line for the nose. Just like that. That's how manga artists do it, a lot of them, so. Gotta work on the whole executive dysfunction stuff though, sad cowboy. Oh, you got this. You've got this. It'll be fine. So here's that. Let's do a mouth. Let's do a mouth. So somewhere between kind of where the base of the nose would be, right around here, and right around the middle of that and the chin, there's a mouth. Just like, that's way too low. I know we're facing down a little bit, but damn. Mouths are fun. I can keep it really nice and simple like this. Sometimes if I'm drawing like very defined like lips or what have you, I'll just have that kind of protrude from that area. But more often I love making just like a happy like open mouth, which is very fun to draw. You just draw that, keep that for the teeth there, just like, yeah! It's kind of derpy, but we'll work with this. Basically just kind of bring this to a, yeah. I'm trying to remember how I do that. Yeah, right, okay. So that lip you kind of see from the side protrudes a little bit beyond the mouth. Don't want that happening on the other end here. But there we have kind of an idea. There's that little like, yeah, there you go. Maybe a little bit of like, a little bit of teeth showing through in the front with that kind of little almost like chipmunky cute kind of look. that moe sort of appeal for all of the weebs. All of the weebs. You too? More caffeine. Yes, exactly. That reminds me, God, I could really use a fucking coffee. I really got a lot of stuff done though. I gotta tell y'all, I got my workout done this morning, right? And I also ended up like going to the store. I had to buy stuff. This was like the official shopping day. And the thing about that is, I was like so outgoing. People were just chatting with me, and I was just like talking to people, and I was being real sociable. I don't know what it was. I've just been in a mood. So I'm tired now, but I was, God, like the other day, I also, after working out, had this weird thing happen. Like a little while after, moe. It's moe, please, it's moe. So, what am I talking about? So I don't know, like a little while, like hours after I worked out in the morning, I had this surge. I don't know what it was. My muscles were activated. I felt like I had to stretch and tense my muscles and like practice my punching, just like get myself, like I had to burn energy. I've just gotten to this point again in working out where I just feel insanely powerful and also kind of not well because I'm just so restless, but that's good. It burns calories, fuck it. I'll just be really jittery, whatever, I don't care. That works for me. Anyway, this is too long and too close to the chin. These are all the things, again, that take so long, these considerations where I'm like, where do I want this to fall? How do I do this? You know, I just work with things till they look right to me. And I think that this will work for now, just so we can like move ahead here and get going. But there's a nice little, let's be anatomically correct here, right in the, yeah, just like, yeah, yeah. There we go. Here's a face, a basic face, but it gets the job done. That's too chipmunky. It's too much. We got monkey, too chipmunky. There you go, perfect. That's good. That's fine. We got that. Lip protrudes that way. No. A little bit in here. A little bit more like, yeah. Yeah. This is enough for a guideline here. That's fine. We have that done. Got you got a face here. Look at this face. That's a face. And so we're gonna do some hair. Hair is fun. What music is this? It makes me think of Yuzo Koshiro. This is just Genesis music. When can I start setting fires in class? Don't start fires in class, Zoe. No Bunsen burners in art class. Hold on. Yeah, working out my social muscles too. Thank you. Yeah, it's the thing with like working out is it's helped me. I'm not here to promote fitness. I'm not a fitness influencer, but I'm just saying for me personally, it's helped me also kind of step into action and do things. It's easier to start my day and walk the dog and do the stuff I need to do. Because I'm regularly in motion. It's true what they say. An object in motion tends to remain in motion at the same speed and at the same direction. I was about to say, I love the Genesis Mega Drive soundscape for the class. No, yeah, it's great. It won't get me copyright struck, and it's fun. It's good little granular, wonderful sounds coming from the stuff here. So here's this little pentangular eyes here. Everything's kind of nice, kind of easy to follow here. Hair. Let's see. So look at my hair, right? Look at this. Very, very flowy, very swayy. It's not really the style I would use for a non-VTuber, but you can see some hair here. Some hair's doing some stuff. You want to bring this in from kind of the brow area here. What I'm actually gonna do, let's look up a fun reference, and then I'll show you how I work with a reference. Let's do that. Let me pull up a little menu here. Where's my heckin' dangin' thingy? But I'll show you kind of how I work off stuff here. Let me find me YouTube. Show me. That'll be Kuroshiro. No, okay, this is not going to load with everything running on the computer. Never mind. But I'm gonna look up Kuroshiro here, and I'll kind of find a. There we go. So hair is fun. For bangs, you're gonna have a lot of different options, but I think we're just gonna go with. Gosh, I'm looking at a lot of bangs here. I'm trying to figure out which would be best for this. Let's take. Not that one. That looks good. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do something with a very dramatic fold in it, right? Come from the center here and create a sort of like zigzagging motion here. This is like the hair is coming out of the head, right? We're coming out of here, just like yeah, look at that springing forth. Look at it kicking butt. Oh yes. So like little V shapes here, just nice little, like this is coming on out of here. And from the center here, bring this sort of protrusion in and downward like so. So here's this bang of hair. Here it is. It's look at it, isn't it nice? But I would actually go as far as to say, hey, let's actually make that fall more naturally, because that was kind of curving in too much from the top there. Doesn't make a lot of sense physically. Again, redraw your lines constantly till they look good. That's always been my advice. It's what I do. I really have not moderated what, like, it's been weeks. I really have not moderated which redeems are on, despite what kind of stream I'm doing, have I? Let's take... I feel like the peak of this is not very far from the center, just like that. But yeah, always use references. Look at other things that are kind of the general style you're looking for here. So yeah, like my head influence on hair, that's been this channel. Let's do that. A little bit of this thing here. So this blade of hair, it's kind of also got like the top of it coming from like a little further back in the head, just like, yeah, just like that. Not like that though. That's like, let me see here. Oh no, that's yet another layer of hair. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's draw the little bit of this bang here. It comes to a point. I try to not let them super overlap over the eyes. If I do, when I draw like the black lines of this portion of the eye, I will tend to have that just like take color on that layer so that the outer lines of this portion of the eye will show that there's an eye there, but it's colored like the hair to show the overlapping. That's my personal style choice. But let's take the... Let me see here. So there's that strand there, and we're gonna create another one on top of it. Let's create some goddamn, some stuff here. But I guess I'll also finish the other portion here where we have this come from. Maybe like right over here, and it's just like, oh hey, here's another little fun hair protrusion here. The bang comes in, swoops a bit inward, and then that kind of comes this way. Now, one thing that I have been trying to get better at, because I'm so bad at it, again, look at my model. I love having very defined lines in hair, and often that doesn't look natural enough. It's not quite enough. Looks kind of 90s, love it, thank you. So there's that, and then we'll take this and bring it like, okay, so this is like, what the fuck was I saying? Right, I'm trying not to draw every individual like line of these tendrils of hair, because again, we can fall into what I sometimes do where it looks too tentacular. I want this to show like there's other layers going on. We got this, just like a little bit more play here in the head. Have this, let me actually have this curve a little bit more to show that it's kind of branching out further in that direction. Just like that. Just as a gist here, though, not with so much curvature from that portion of the head. There we go. No, that's, it could be sharper. It could be a sharper corner from the top, just like too sharp. Too sharp. There we go. Okay, and there's that. And I want that to kind of be coming from another portion. Let's make this and another wide swath here just one large bang of hair, like that. And this will show that this is coming from... Let's make this a bit above that portion of hair, right around that little peak there, just same area. And then we can just say, hey, this has got like a little bit of curvature on the head, like the roundness of the head. This is coming from another layer here. So this will come down here. That'll look very nice. I'll even erase a little bit of this. Not like that. Like that. But just enough to show, look, there's more play going on. Here's another layer of hair coming. It's doing what it does. In fact, I'm also gonna make that a little bit more... Let me make that more centered, actually. Let's bring this closer in so the hair doesn't get too darn confusing. Control Z. No matter how many times I mess with my controls on my laptop, it will not affect the main computer I'm working on right now. I know it sounds crazy. Let's bring this here, control select these. Or no, that's shift, sorry. Shift select so I can get many of these. And just bring this like here? I think, yeah, make that wider. There we go. So now that'll be coming from closer to like the center. That makes more sense, right? Right. Actually, no, that was coming from... Never mind. Don't listen to me. I'm dumb. I say teaching a class. Okay, let me undo that. Oh, there you go. That's fine. Right there's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that peak being a little bit closer to like that tip of the hair is actually what I want to do. This is why we use references, class. This is why we do this. Now, let's take this portion here. In fact, we can make this a little bit more rounded. I think I made that perhaps maybe even too dramatic of a peak up there. That can be... I want this to just be like that. Just like that. Get rid of that. And let's make that the top of this tendril from which we see like this little bottom area of the hair where that's just kind of showing through. Same with these. These are just like inside of the bangs here. Let's take a little bit of this. Looking over to the ref here. Let's bring this right around there. Perfect. So there's that. That kind of becomes this portion of hair. That becomes this area here that kind of spills beyond where this one does. So to really kind of define that, let's have that kind of spill into that line here. And that we can mess with the shadowing to make that perfectly lay how we love, but there that is. We're already creating these layers, these depth. Look at this. The syntax of my sentences falling apart as I speak. And look at how much play is in that, especially because this is like a little more to the side. That little waft, that little bit of roundingness in the bangs, very, very nice. Let's do a little bit over here with this thing here. We've got another little instance of this, not quite as dramatic. Let me change. So there's the assumption that this is kind of going this way. And that's kind of part of that whole bang up there. And I'm gonna make that a slightly wider one too. I love how that looks. Just get rid of that. Ah, I'm erasing things I don't wanna. Get rid of that. No. Just, smaller eraser. Smaller eraser. Eraser's too big. It's overpowered. There we go. There it is. Okay, so there's that little bang of hair there. We're gonna have a little bit more coming out here. Just like that. Another thing, cap your hair with like a line. So it shows that it's like coming to more of a point. That's something I'm trying to do more lately as well. Just like show it being a little less, you know, triangular at the end. So there's that. There's a little bit more play in here with the bangs here. I can go ahead and give this another little like round in here. Just the last little bang detail here. Bring that out here. This whole area here needs a similar thing to the other where it's like, here's this little curvature here where we've got like a little bit of under the bang play. More of that happening. And just bring that like here. And that's going to round about where it meets over here. So that's, look at this hair. Look at all this gosh dang hecking hair over here. And then this will be, actually no, you know what? That's gonna be coming out here. There we go. Now we're accomplishing the style we're going for. So yeah, in this little rough area here, we've got this kind of jolting out, creating a little bit of fluff here, and just like giving us a fun little area to play with. I'm making this more complicated than I need to be though. There we go. So there's hair. Look at that hair. My god, look at this hair. This hair is everywhere. It's amazing. So here's some bangs. That looks amazing, actually. I'm glad I worked with a reference for this one. I'm trying something kind of new here, and look how it looks. It's looking pretty good. Let me go ahead and try some more stuff here. So as we saw in the earlier Doug illustration, which was very cursed, we're gonna do a little bit more play with the hair kind of swooping outward. Like it comes in, but you know, the hair never stays where it sits, you know? It looks fake if it's not fucking up a little bit. So let's have a little tendril here coming out. Let's say a very thin one, but just enough. Like we'll get more of the curvature of the hair here. Let's have a piece just kind of going like that, just kind of popping out a little bit, just like that. And you can also kind of do that around like other portions of the hair, but have little bits where the hair just isn't quite behaving. I think what is a really fun thing to do is give it more of a direct like U-flip here, and let that point be the defining portion and connect it not up top here, but like down here, where it's just like, yeah, just like that. Little bits here and there, bits and bobs that just look right and seem good, and just look at that. Look at that shit, look at it. That's another thing, this is too triangular right here. Just add some lines of division here. Maybe even fork it off into like a smaller portion of hair, but just give some kind of division there, some kind of definition. So now that I've basically drawn that, I'm going to give a little more consideration to the sides of the hair. But in general, I can get rid of all the other guides here that I have because I no longer require them. I no longer need them. Let's do the side of the hair here first, though, and just give that... There we go. It's like that. Just fun little hair. Just there. There we go. And that'll be coming from behind the head. So yeah, there we go. We got some hair. Hair's looking cute. Let's do the sides and back of the hair. So this is just like, you know, there's like these portions. You got bangs, you got the sides of the hair where I draw tendrils usually on the side of a character there. And, you know, where it kind of falls in front of the ear. But then on the back here, there's going to be like a little bit more fluffing out here, and that's already kind of happening here. Where you have the skull line, you want the hair to come, like this is the skull line, this is the hairline. You want it to come from outside of there to sort of show like, yeah, there's some fluff here. How fluffy the hair is will depend. Like if it's pulled back, it's going to be closer to here for the rest of this until it meets kind of closer into like a ponytail. Like so. However, since we're having this lay more naturally, it's kind of puffing out here a bit. It's kind of coming out, right? We're feeling it today. We're feeling the hair. Hair always eludes me. My brain can copy the shapes, but I couldn't tell you how they get there. It's about just shaping it out. It really, I promise it will come with practice. You kind of figure these things out as you mess with them, and, you know, again, I highly advise, watch the things I do. But there's a main point while I'm drawing this. I've already told you what I'm doing, and you'll collect from this, so let me take a quick moment while I'm working on this to say, I wanted to address, as I mentioned in the title, building a style. How do you build your style? How do you become what you do? Like with music, like with anything, if all you ever listen to is Metallica, you're gonna sound like shitty Metallica. Always have like different references, different different things where you're like, I love how this artist does blank. That perverted anime with the eyes, the hair with this particular artist I found so beautiful. I wanted to start putting the way that they do stuff into my style. And like really the one thing you gotta focus on is keep a certain level of like fundamentals solid. Figure out how you do everything. You can stylize to a point, but if you want it to look more like realistic and sexy and whatever, figure out just how you... That doesn't even matter, actually. Figure out how you want to draw your base things, what your references are, how you draw, like, the neck and the portions of the body that are, like, you know, like, well, here's this portion of here. Figure out how to draw by following someone. Again, I recommend Hide Channel in my case. But once you know how to draw a figure, you want to start figuring out, okay, how do I want to draw hair? How do I want to draw this and that? Have these other little influences and put that into how you're drawing stuff, and that will just become... These things that you are so motivated by become a part of your work, and it looks so pretty, and it's like so cool. But that's basically just that's how it is. You just say, okay, well, let's put this into here. You can change, you can alter it, you can always mess with it, but the way to keep a style consistent is to kind of have rules that you stick to. I've basically figured out how I like my eyes to look. I've basically figured out how I draw my figure and stuff like that. That's the base element of it, but how I shade hair. The moment I decided to put my work on Pixiv because I was proud of it and thought I finally found, like, this is how I like my work to look, is when I started making all these elements come together in a way that I kept drawing it like that. And I will get better at them, I will alter them over time, but the general fundamentals of how I color, sketch, and draw these portions of the body, this is all what factors in. You saw me drawing Sailor Moon. Do I still have that photo, actually? Let me find that. The Sailor Moon crossover where I drew, like, you know, the Sailor Moon me, with, like, how I would draw in my style for Usagi. Let me find Sailor Breezy. Actually, that's... You guys, I forgot that's on the other computer. But yeah, so I drew Sailor Moon in the style that I would draw something by going, okay, well, hey, here's her ponytails. Here's how I draw ponytails, right? I drew a version of me that basically had, like, Chibiusa's ponytails, because she has kind of the cute, like, smaller curved ponytails. I was like, that's how, you know, this artist does it. Let's put those on there. How does Usagi look in the front there? Let's get those bangs looking like that with that curvature. It's a little bit shorter. It's a little bit more playful. And I was able to draw like a perfect Sailor Moon version of me. Again, you can find that. I should link to it. I can find it. Just a minute. I'm gonna show y'all. We're gonna do it. Let me find a link to. Actually, wait. I know where I can show you. let me go on YouTube and look up my last video, because I actually put it on there. How's the art life? Carobit, it's going great. I'm just teaching everyone about, you know, like building a style and what have you and all that fun junk right now. How are you? I hope you're well. Let me search for Easy Breezy TV. Breezy TV. Show me the stuff. There we are. So there's this little thumbnail here, and I'm gonna go ahead and capture that for y'all right now. Let me pull this up in a window. There we are. It's kind of weird. Let me, can I make it more? Can I make this big? Make it big. Yes. Large page. Can I control scroll? There we are. So there's this little thumbnail of me here where I have this illustration so I can actually show you. Let me pull that window up right over yonder. Where's my window? Add a window. But there is... Yes. There it is. So look at that. I drew this. Basically, I figured out, okay, this is where the chin goes, this is where the eyes are, this is how they draw eyebrows, this is how they draw, like, the bangs there, a little bit curlier. I put in, like, you know, I don't have the same kind of buns that you wear in, you know, that Usagi has, so I drew the, you know, I just put that into my ears. I put the little shiny baubles in the ears. Of course, I kept my bows and everything, and drew those how you draw the other bow down there, more in that style. And the hair, again, just for doing the background there, I just looked at a picture of Chibiusa and went, okay, well, I can draw that. And there you go. And I just cel shaded it how they do that. And that was easy. But that's an example of that, is here is take a style and do what they would do for this. So similarly, I did, and again, I don't have the image on me right now, but I drew Sailor Moon how I would draw Sailor Moon, how I draw ribbons, how I draw hair, how I draw the eyes, and it was pretty cute. It was actually really quite cute, but that's really the difference with your style, is you're going, okay, you learn how to implement the way you would draw something by taking those elements and just changing them. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Gonna have to shift focus soon. I got a therapy thing scheduled to leave the stream mode, the volume set low. Probably revisit. Sure, Zoe, absolutely. No worries. You have a wonderful therapy session. I hope that goes well. But anyway, let me get rid of this now because I no longer need this window. But that's just the point I'm making, is basically you can... Once you know how you want to implement a particular portion of your style, you can draw anything like that. Just basically consider how you draw these elements yourself, and you can just, you know, you can do that too. You can just bring that over and be like, all right, cool, this is where we're going to implement this. I'm talking over myself and not making much sense anymore, so I'm going to shut up on that. The other thing with the hair, you want to, as I was mentioning, the little curvatures here, there's fun little ways to implement imperfections, where you can do like, okay, let me have this sprout out from the hair. Let's do kind of like, almost like thick at the bottom and like kind of thinning as it curves out here. Something like that. Something where like a little bit of hair is like coming in and out of a particular area, just like, yeah, just like that. It just kind of creates this like, yeah, you know, hair, it is imperfect and it's not a solid block. It's got little things happening in it. There's stuff going on. There's stuff happening. And this kind of creates this nice little illusion here. This is a little bit kind of convoluted here. Let me make this a little bit more organic. Let's take this portion of the head, just right here. Let me try to do just a little bit of this is going a little bit haywire and falling like behind the ear. Some level of tension to catch on to. So thick at the base of the head, thinning up at the top here. There's this little bit of hair kind of coming up from here. And that's going to be like just coming from this portion of the head here where the hair kind of rounds out. I again need to get rid of some of my background here to keep it from being an issue. I've gotten what I need out of the little reference lines here, but there you go. So there's that, and there's these lines, and there's this like whole thing where you got like this curvature of the head, and then you just have this little portion of hair coming out, and it's like, oh, what's that? There's like some extra hair here. That's so nifty. Look at that. It's like pushed behind the head. These little moments of play, these little things of just like imperfections in the head. Imperfections in the head. I could rename my channel that. But there's that. these nice little things that say, yes, you are working with hair. This is hair that we're drawing. You're looking at hair. This is not one solid piece. It is many different pieces of stuff, and they're all kind of colliding with the wind and the way they're laying and everything, and it's just very, there's little ways to add texture and just create a little bit of play in it, but I find I tend to overdraw that. I want to do a little bit less and just emphasize more where I can. But yeah, it's looking pretty good here. I also want to, again, define this area a little bit more separate of the other. But yeah, there's that. Let me get rid of these. Yeah, but look at that, there's some hair. We got stuff coming out the sides here. I want to have that sort of actually maybe a little bit further branching out than I have it right now. Let's have that side tendril just come way out here. That might be a bit too much, though. Let's do... There we go. Get rid of this. Extra stuff here we don't need. Okay. There we are. There it is. And with that curving outward more, we need to change how that's coming in. Let's do, like, a little bit more curving in, just like there, from the outside there. Look at that go. Look at it hecking happen. And there we are. There's hair. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Isn't that great? So, ponytails. I really like the volume here. It really does a world, and it does compare to just shape. Right? Exactly. Thank you. And that is what I learned from, again, Kuroshiro. Check them out. They draw great hair. So, I've been watching a few other things on drawing hair and on anatomy. I've learned a lot from them as well on that. But again, anatomy to start with, Hide channel, worth its weight in gold. I love them. So, this is another thing you can also do. There's if you're doing like curly hair, let's do like, I'll just show you off to the side here, but like if we're doing like kind of curled and like rounded hair, like an Ojo-sama thing, and you've got this kind of protruding out, and just like, yeah, here this comes. There's a little bit of like a curve here, and it's like, yeah, this is all like curled hair, and it's all nice and cute, and it's like it's coming from the side here, and you're just like, oh damn, actually it's too far out. You have this coming from the side and like coiling in, and it looks so darn cute, and you're like, oh hell yeah, that's how I want my hair to look, and then you do that. So all of this here, when you're like curling hair like this, you can still do the same trick you do up top here. You have a little bit of like overspill here, where it's like, oh yeah, there's like a little bit of hair popping out of here, right? A little bit of fun being had, just a little bit there. I'd even just get rid of that tail there, where you can just sort of create this feeling of like, yeah, here's more tiny little tendrils. Again, you want to make this like show thinner around here, but you see how that just kind of creates like another little dimension of fun here. There's a little bit more like stuff kind of peeking out. I would also kind of make these lines a lot thinner, like a lot thinner. I'm using thick lines to show you here, but again, I've been drawn with like maybe like 3 level 10 here. Let's have this be like down here. But yeah, just this little protrusion of hair here, just coming out of how you do these wraps. It's so important. Those little tiny details of things that are just kind of not quite in place let you know that there's hair doing this, let you know that this is like a real thingy. Yes, a thingy. That's the scientific term anyway, but you get what I mean. So there's that. Very, very pretty, very cute. Yada yada, we all know. So there's that. Just one little quick tip I wanted to throw in there. I want to do maybe one ponytail. Let's do a side ponytail. She's not going to make it through episode 1, okay? So, actually no, if I do a side ponytail, that'll actually come from the back of the head, which we won't be able to do any detail on. Let's say she has this up in buns. Let's do that. So long hair up in buns. This is very fun. Let's do... Traditionally, like when I draw Haichu, actually, I like to do buns kind of the way I would do cat ears, kind of like section it off to where the eyes kind of stop on the head here, and just figure out where that would go, just like that. And so we're gonna... Oh, now we're getting DMCA'd. Thank God she's keeping her protag energy. No, yeah, exactly. We gotta have something going on here. So let's have this little, like, one thing I'll say, I have not really mastered drawing buns. I've just kind of decided how I draw them, and now I just do them. If that's incorrect, I really don't fucking care. So there's a little band here holding that together. And, you know, especially when you've got like a very tight bun like this, you're gonna be like, all right, well, there's gonna be like little protrusions here, because not everything's gonna be perfectly in place. So you've got little bits that are kind of popping in out of here, and you've got just these little tiny notes here. But just this whole little mess of hair here is just folding in on itself, and it looks cute. And it's like, yeah, look at that hair, look at that. It's just a nice little texture of stuff going on here. But you got the hair. You've got that hair. You just got it coming through here. Look at that. There's that. And then this is hair right here. Am I right, class? Is this not hair? Let me do some of that. Round it around here. A little bit more going on there with like the... That's not what I wanted. Let's do... Yeah. Clearly wrapped. Clearly making a little bit more dimension around there. And there you go. There's a little bun. Nice. Easy. And so we'll do another one. This head is facing a little bit to the side there, so that goes that way, that goes this way. This will be probably where that other bun hits. Right around there. It's all about, like, eyeballing it. This is why we have a sketch phase. In fact, this can even move a bit. This can go, like, here. Right? I think. I'm never certain. There we go. Nice. So yeah, look at that. We got some buns. We got some things going on, and we're gonna have this also similarly kind of come up like this diagonally. Diagonally, pretty sneaky, sis. Here's that. A little bit more kind of like, oh, these little tendrils of hair are going around here, and it's still fun. It's still just having a darn blast. I'm gonna actually do that a little more careful. Let's clear this off. Let me do like just around here. Just a nice little bit of dip in there to show you just the hair popping out there. That's going back down there. We can clear this area here's, and just a little bit here, and there you go. You see, these little details make a world of difference. Just a absolute world of difference. So there's that, and there's this thing. It's just coming up here, just like, if this is hair, it's cute, it's lovely. Don't you love it? I do. I love it a lot. And then that's gonna go here. There. You got some hair. It's nice, it's cute, it's wonderful. You know, it's just doing what it does. Doing what it do. Okay. But yeah. There you go. We just drew a fucking head. Are you ready, everyone? So, now you know how to draw a head. Now you know how to do fucking, well, I mean, I guess this was, you know how to draw from a head, but we drew one without the head reference. Look at us go. We got, you know, I showed you how to draw hair. Look at that hair. Look at that. Amazing. All of these little details, you know, put into this all basically show me how to just, I mean, everything, one thing leads to another. When you have a system, when you know what you're doing, it all kind of falls into place, what you need to do next, and it becomes very easy. What a surprise, my therapy guy is late. Oh no! But before I go, let me show you how I do lines, because that can also be very useful. Can't wait to see Miss Buns there kung fu some guys to hell. Exactly. But yeah, so I've shown you, you know, the selection tools, the layering, the layer locking, the, you know, putting things into like a transparency lock, using a transparency lock for, like, you know, the layer above it. I've shown you all of that already, but let me show you how I do lines. Basically, I'm also gonna touch up the eyes just a tiny bit, just like, I want there to be kind of almost a point and rounded, like, in the center here of the eye. Just like that. Have it kind of mostly come from there. Adding to the thickness here. There we go. Alright, and there's, like, also a little bit of, like, eyelid here. Off to the side there, while I'm in here doing this. But yeah, with these guides in mind, let me show you how line work works for me. So, this is how I do a sketch. Let's pull up another layer, but first let's make this not as visible, because it's going to get messy. Let's bring the opacity down to, in this case, oh god, I still have like that other layer there too. Let's bring it to 24. 24. Or just something kind of down there. Nothing too wild, but enough that this isn't going to be super strong and visible. Enough visible that we can refer to it, but that it won't be in the way. We're going to take some creative liberties here, because these sketches are just going to become one line. We're just going to make one line here. Traditionally here, I will move my stabilization to like a 96. It's versatile, but it allows me to get like smoother lines. Stabilization, if you have shaky hands, is like, what if you wanted to mod your brain so that when you wanted to draw a line from here to here, it actually does that instead of doing this. That's what stabilization does. It's amazing. It's a great thing to use. I don't think that's cheating. I think most artists would tell you it's not. Again, it's a way around the disability of having shaky hands, like I do. However, if you want to do more jagged things, for example, like how I sign my name, if I wanted to write the Asnesbo here, if I wanted to do my title here for my artistry, hell yeah, stabilization is the goat of all time. It really is. Wish I had that when I paint in my miniatures. Oh god, yeah. Never had an issue with it because the pen and paper are fine, but a tablet does that. It is part of the tablet life. Tablet go brr. Absolutely. So let's say I'm trying to do that. Like, it's too bubbly. It's too rounded. I can't get that sharpness because I'm moving my hand very quickly to accomplish that. So if I want to sign my name, I'll bring this up to like, I'll just bring it down to like nothing or like 2 or whatever, just really low. Because I don't need stabilization, and I can go whoop, whoop, whoop. See, it's more pointy. More like, here's my name, here's my artist handle, there it is. You know, looks so much better. So, you know, and for like when we were doing the coloring and the flicking through the hair on the hair color layer on the Eevee picture, there are times where you're clearly going to realize, I don't need as wide of a swath here. But another reason why that's going to work so gosh darn well is because when we get in here with a new, let's say, layer over here of 100% opacity, because we want to see the layer we're working on, let's take just like a black line here. Let's do, basically, you're gonna want to be rotating and zooming in. If you have a tablet with a slide bar on it, set it up in its software to be a zoom thing. That is the biggest time saver in the world. Not going, where's the tiny thing here to change the... No, it's all just... I'm using my thumb on the tablet to change this. Revolutionary, I know. So let's start... I usually start with the eyes here. Already, though, I'm noticing... I think I can shorten this eye just a tiny, tiny bit. Let me go back to my sketch. Let's give this... like... just like there? Yeah. Yeah, there it is. I think I just drew that a little bit too wide for my liking. It needs to be more... There we go. Okay. That, I can work with that. We can work that. Okay. Anywho, don't mind me. Let's go into the lining here. Let's take the black line here, go up here. So we're on the full opacity layer above these lines. We could even actually, I want to adjust all of these at the same time, so let's make a folder here. Little add folder button here. Select all of these, hold shift, and just click through these, or from top to bottom where you want them, pop it in there. I can change the opacity on the folder. They all change at the same time. Very useful again, another little time saver. I got buttons and a screen and a pen. Dope. That'll come in handy. So, when we're drawing the eyes, we know how to do these a little bit more, get in there. That's the big thing I'll tell you, is get the hell in there. I'm gonna draw with a 3.0 pen here, like... just like that. And let's go ahead and give this... I think I'm gonna go from like right here, right now. Alright, I gotta turn stabilization back on. There we go. 96. 95. There we go. Helps that curve get in there. When you're drawing really zoomed in, you want that smoothness. Hey, Brookie, welcome! So then we're gonna bring this in here. We're gonna just do a little bit of, let me see here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, so with these points of here, this needs to be more... It needs something. Just like, there you go. Yeah. That little spill over there can be erased, but you just have a nice little... There you go. Use vector lines for this, obviously, as well. That helps a lot. Do a little bit of that. Again, we're taking a few creative liberties with how we do the ultimate lining, but the rest of the sketching was just kind of the gauge to point us in the right direction, yeah? So there's that. A little bit of this here. Put a couple points on there. These are lashes. And just bring this curvature of the eye down here. Actually, don't even do that, because that'll actually come in like the color phase. We can just skip that. Let's just do a little bit, enough to define that there's the bottom of this eye. We have a shape. And we'll do the iris. The iris is fun. Another thing, when you're swooping out like this, if you're right-handed like me, rotate your image. Okay, if you're doing something that's like rounded in a particular area, and do it in a way that supports your hand, and don't try to draw like toward your knuckles, like from the inside of your hand. It makes it impossible to draw. Just move things so they're easier to draw. It'll save your hand and your muscles immensely so. Brookie, how's your day going? I hope you are well. Whoop. And so let's bring this up here. Just a little bit of that. A little bit of down here. And some of those. Look at that. Look, there's an eye there. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's do the eyebrow as well. A lot of ways to do eyebrows. I tend to keep them rather subtle. But sometimes just kind of giving it that blunt on the inside and point it at the outside. That seems to work well for me. Just whoop. And another voop, if you will. It's Voop Central in here, I know. Welcome to the horridly dated adventures of Betty Voop. No, that's not right. Let's make you... Yeah. That's odd. I'm realizing I don't have those quite the same. I think that I was too lax on where I had that eyebrow. I thought it looked snide and cute, but now that I'm looking at it in full execution, I'm like, that doesn't go great. Let me pop back down here to the sketch. Make this like... You want this to kind of come to like right where the inside of the eye stops for the most part. So have that come here. Come to that point down there. But that's so much blunter of a turn down, I'm realizing. There we go. I see. I see. Okay. That'll be... Yeah. Okay. Let's try drawing this again. Shoot. Not like that. We need to be more free on this. Move this over. Yeah, just like that. Give me... that. Kind of. Is that right? I think so. A little bit more chill on that, not as intense of a line there. There we go. It's still too low, though. Do that. Follow that line, Breezy. There we go. It's the subtler things. There we go. There's some brows. Okay, the other eye. Let's go. Boom. Kind of drawing the inside and outside of where the lashes happen there. Where am I going with that? Let me move this to here. Again, work with the angles. Work with your hand. Work in a way that works for you. For the way that the hand is built. Yeah, it's looking right. Up in here again, get that little tip of the eye there, little cat eye. Shoop. There it is. And we'll bring this portion here. And let's give the other iris here as well. The eyes are a great place to start. They're kind of the central point, and you want to make sure they look good, so... Good place to just kind of make sure everything's looking how you want it to. The beauty of like anime compared to how like Western animation and illustrations were back in, you know, at least in the 90s, was like, you know, Western animation didn't have a lot of like huge eyes unless they were like bugging out because someone was freaking out. But eyes are the window to the soul. Eyes are where you can see the most emotion. They showed things. You know, you're showing things with the eyes that are like, this is the emotion, the thoughts, the feelings. You can do so much with it. And having them be big and very expressive allows for that. It's so versatile and there's so much fun to be had with that. Just bring this... I think versatile is the new word I'm gonna overuse during these streams. It's not perfectly ovular. I want this to be like... Yeah. Yeah? There we go. That's... Just need a little bit more play in there. Let me bring this down here. Come down. There you go. Alright. Now we have an eye there. Perfect. Pop this in here. Whabam. There's our little iris here. Well, that's the iris. There's the pupil, that is. Right around there. Kind of drooping outward. Try to make that round to a proper extent there. There you go. Look at those damn eyes. Ain't they heckin' cute? So there's that. We got this going there. Looking good. Looking good. Looking grand. Let's get this a little bit of a tip on that nose there. Maybe even fill in that portion there just to give that a little bit of play there. Actually, that's a little too much. It was good where it was. Fuck it. Yeet. There we go. Perfect. Okay. That nose, we'll do the mouth here. I want to get this kind of straight down. Let me adjust where the head is here. Just like that.
Time to drink up Breezy.
Ah, shit.
Look at this dumb little P-tuber.
Wake
What's
me
wrong?
up, why don't you?
Pathetic little
Wake
cat
me up
can't hold her
inside.
weight. Gonna wet yourself? Gonna explode all over the place? Bad kitty, get it together.
Good, Brookie. Accept your weebiness, and thank you. Now, the mouth here... I don't know. I don't love this mouth. I want to change this mouth. I'm already looking at this, and I'm like, I want to alter this in a way. Let me look at something real quick here. What if we... I'm gonna refer to one of my other photos here, actually. The last photo I drew was of someone blowing gum, so that's not what I'm looking at. But, let's bring this back here. Look at the last real good breezy face I got. When the last time I drew me, we have... Bring that back. Alright. Okay, yeah, I see. I'm just overthinking it. That's all it is. So if we want to do like a happy little face here, there is the option of keeping it like a simple line, but then there's the other option of just going like, hey, you know, we could take, oh yeah, right there. That's, yes. Okay, yeah, so here, let's do, I guess I usually do kind of like, almost like ovular faces a bit, where I just do like, you know, here's the, what am I doing? Did that go? Oh, I'm using an eraser, that's why. That'll do it. But like, yeah, I do just kind of like more like wide faces, just like, whoa, look at that. But I have recently done something with a little bit more play in it here. I'm trying to figure out what the best way is to get that. There's just like the whole, like I don't want that so much at an angle. I want this to be true to the build of the face here. There we go. Sort of rounded triangular face going on there. That's looking good. A little bit of teeth. Tongue there. Yeah. Yeah. There's that. Right, let me define these lines a bit better. That looks like shite. There we go. And maybe small in my eraser, why don't I? There we go. So there's that. We're gonna bring this on over here. Just bring the teeth. Bring the teeth. Turn it up. Bring the teeth. Okay, there's that. You got some tongue. You got some side of the mouth. You got some teeth. That's even a little bit too large. So what I'm gonna do is, again, we'll take the little, like, oh, the little selection pen. How about the selection pen? That'll come in handy again. Let's take this portion of it and just make it smaller. Like that. Move it till it looks right. I'm gonna bring that, like, use the arrow keys here to move it about a bit. Yeah, there we go. And we'll get, like, a little bit of, like, the lip down there. And, we can do... Let me see here. We'll just draw the head portion now. Let's get the chin going here. Right around here. Okay. And the other portion right here. I wonder if I gave enough like definition to the cheeks there, but I mean, even still, that looks fine to me. I'm overthinking it. But if we want, we can pooch that out just a little bit more. Let me try to... Let's try to do something like this. Yeah, okay, so the curvature of the head here just kind of comes to, like, the cheekbone there. There it is. There's the cheekbone. I found it. The cheekbone's connected to the face bone. Not gonna lie, the best part about being sick is that I'm the most weight today I lost the most weight I have today in a few weeks. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like being sick, but I take that as a net benefit too. You gotta take what you can get. But yeah, look at this face. Look at how this face is coming along. People ask, Breezy, why does it cost so much to have you do pictures? Because art is fucking hard. Anyway, so here's this. Usually I'll do a sketch and line work in like 1 workday's worth of time, but even then, we're kind of rushing it here. I'm not doing like a full thing. I'm just doing a head. But let's do yada yada. Let's do some hair. Let's do, with the head now basically done, we'll do some hair. I want to bring this close here, so that's touches. You want the chin to touch. Let's do hair. Hair is going to be fun. We're going to bring this down here, bring it around town. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Let's do, that's kind of there. Comes the inseam of the hair, essentially, where the curvature of the head is. You bring this one, that's too far. No, that's too low. Bring this one up here. That does not need to be as defined. What was I talking about? There you go. So there's that. When it comes to that point there, and this still protrudes down to this one. Just like that. Not that hard. Bring that down into those lines we made, and just there we go. Hair is happening, y'all. Hair is coming to be. And I'm gonna actually have that be where that continues in, because that line, I'm just not perfectly happy with it. So, vector eraser, boom, dead. Not like that. Go back to just this layer. Vector. Why can't I do that? That should do that. Oh, weird. Guess there's some other lines interfering with it. Let's get in here and just knock it out. There we go. So there we have that. There we have the hair. That's coming together. We'll do the top of the top portion here. Just like so. Did I draw it that wide? No, I didn't. That's why. Thought it looked a little bit off. So there's that. That curves in. Look at this heckin' hair. Look at this right now. Look what we're doing. Look at how good this looks. She's so happy to beat someone up. Good for her. What do you mean? Oh, does this look like someone from a fighting game, or did I beat someone up? I might have. I need water. You can hear. Why is my throat so dry lately? I don't know. Maybe I'm sick. One thing that doesn't make it any easier, there it is. One thing that doesn't make it any easier is the fact that the season seems to change every day at this time of year, so it's just like, there's no getting used to it. But everything is in bloom today, too, and I have not taken my nose spray yet. I finally have a prescribed nose spray that makes my life less hellish and lets me breathe outside. So I'm actually probably gonna take that earlier in the day. Why don't I? That'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'll be able to breathe and stuff. It'll be wacky. Let's try that out. Let's have a little bit of agency over our ability to breathe. Can we do that? Let's do... This still coming around the side of the head. Not swooping in too much. That's gotta go R. Nice. Alright, so the rest of the bangs here. And all the little lines here I've given to define this is under the bangs here, that's not going to be really drawn in any way. We're just going to color that darker and add texture while we're doing the coloring phase of everything, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward. Get this thing going. Not like that. Like so? It's not confident enough of a line there. There it is. Yes. Okay. And just like that. Just like that. Alright, and that comes up here into that portion of the hair as well. A little bit of that happening. Very, very nice. Just bring that up here. Not quite. Like... use the curvature of your hand.
Firmly grasp it in your hand.
There it is. Hair. Old and new. We got hair for you. Whatever you need. All your hair needs. We got old hair. We got new hair. We got hair that helps you, that has instructions on it that helps you build thermite. Buy from Breezy's hair department. Hair. We got it. You're... turn that again. Get in there. God damn, whatever game this is, it goes ham. This music is going nuts. That's another thing. Always listen to music when you're drawing. I always have. I don't know why anyone wouldn't. It's great. Preferably something that fits the mood of what you're drawing, too. You see the play in this? You see, like, different angles of that protrusion of hair. Look at the dimension that creates. Is that not the coolest fucking thing ever? Let's do the ear here now. Also, the way I showed you kind of how I draw ears, but, like, if I do this, like... if this were showing a bit more, I tend to, like, draw, like, a little nub there in the ear. There's other things you can do to add, like, a little bit more detail, but, like, I don't tend to go super ham on ears. I just go, yes, this is an ear. Yes, indeed. This exists. There you go. Easy. Done. There's an ear. Look how realistic that looks, and it's very simple. Very, very simple. Hello, Breezy's hair department. I'd like brown hair extensions with dark blue tips. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. I will try to do my best to get that going. We need it. We just got a new order in. I just need to get those into our inventory, and I will get back to you shortly. Can I do more little, like, kind of tiny tendrils out here? Yeah. No, wait. Yee. And yee. Welcome to Yi. There we are. Hair. That there's hair right there. Listen, I know hair. I've worked in the hair business for many years, and let me tell you that what I am looking at right over here, what you see right here with your face, that's hair. Yes. So then we'll pop on in here and say, hey, hi, it's hair. How's it going? And this is that little rubber band holding the band or clip or, you know, scrunchie or whatever, holding this in place. And just take that right around the corners. No, not quite, not quite. I'm such a damn perfectionist, I know. So turn this around. Get that curvature of the bun in here. Let's do... This is at an angle, so it assumes that this could fall a little bit behind the band. So just right there, this portion of it here, and just, yeah, just this hair is like working around itself, and it's just looking so damn good. The people, they say, the hair, how did it get so good? And I say, I don't know, you know, it just it does what I tell it to. So we'll get rid of this. Very nice, very nice. We'll get this going over here. And still the portions of this that I want to kind of have some play in them need to come around that way. I think I'm gonna do something like that, but just a little bit altered. Let's bring that in here. There we go. In fact, I'm gonna... I don't know if that is what I want there. Let me see here. Bring that here? That is not what I want. I think I want, like, some crossover there. I think I want that to just, like, yeah, like that. Yeah! That's what I think we needed. So there's a little bit of curvature of the hair there, just a little bit of play in that. It's just kind of popping on out of there, just a fun little tendril of hair. You could even go as far as to maybe shorten the distance of where that cutoff is, but that's fine. I'm not gonna overthink it right now. get in here. Bring this around yonder. Isn't this so much more informative than my last few streams of this? Like, I know so much more. I'm really happy about it. Let's bring this thingy up here. Just like, yeah. Yeah. Not quite there, like... There we go. So there's that. There is... Huh. A little bit more going on here, but we'll figure it out. It's right there. Let's give this another little... I can actually complete that curvature there, because that's gonna fall behind it, the rest of that is. Give me a rounded nature here. Alright, so there's that. We'll bring this up, down, all around. Not quite there, but we're getting there. There we are. Little bit of play in the hair, a little bit of fun. And we're gonna have some more wrap over here of the hair here. There's more going on, there's a little bit everywhere, just... This needs to clearly be hair in a bundle. Okay, and right over here. Yes. Alright. There's that portion. We'll do little of this. Alright. Fun little hair bun. Nice and simple. Nothing too crazy. Again, these are all things that as you mess with the hair and the shading and the texturing and everything with messing with the shine and the shadow of it, will even make it pop like a ton more. But you've got like a perfect little working example here where everything just kind of does what you need it to, and it just goes where you gotta have it. You gotta have it, they say. We'll do that. Bring this over here. There we are. Be zooming in, be zooming out, make sure it looks good. There we go, just like that. Yes! Yeah, Rocco! Not like that, though. Like, that... Yes. Do that. A little bit protruding out here. Kinda having some play in it, a little bit of fun here. Yeah, I kinda like that, actually. I was gonna change that, but I was looking at it like, no, you know what? You know what? You know hecking danging what, though? My good friend Arinos. I think that's fine. We'll just have this come this way. I'm just doing what it does, and then the other hair comes this way, and it's just like there's so much happening. It's so happening. It's happening right here, right now. And there you go. So yeah, that is, you're having a chill time. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm really, really glad. Oh wait, let me finish my definition of the hair here. Give me like that. And like that. A hair there. And yeah, that's looking pretty grand. So I've shown you how I do hair. I've shown you how I do stuff like that. Again, with the Eevee thing here, I would color this by adding a few other details. Where the hair comes out and is a little bit more full of volume, if you have like a bang, like say this... Oh wait, that's got an outline on that layer. I don't want to use that. Say if you got like a bang like this just hanging around, just doing what it does. You know, there's so many little tiny things you can do to just emphasize this in a more like fantastical and wild sort of way. But like in general, that using this sort of coloring method and this shading method on this just brings, like, it brings it so fucking to life. I'm even gonna go ahead, I will finish this, if not today, sometime tomorrow, and I'll post the rest of this head. Buns Shan is ready for her journey into becoming a kung fu master. Though, before I show you that, no, right, that's what I want to mention. There's little tabs where, like, when you're shading this, where, you know, you take the dark portion here, where you're putting, like, the dark thing here, the light thing here before you blend it, you take that darkest portion of that, and you would put that in places like behind this little nib here, right over here, you know, right down there. Or you would put that in like something like underneath these bangs. Anywhere that is like a severe pointing straight down or away from the light, you want to add those definitions of like deep depth. Under here, under these bangs. And that's going to help even further define where the light's hitting and the depth that it's creating. And it's really cool. It's really heckin' cool. How much of a difference it makes. That's why I felt the need to share that with you, as I've seen it make a huge difference. Now again, the other beautiful thing with the vector lines and everything, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't want to doctor this too much, I really don't, but I think what I can do is I want to make these a tiny bit higher, these eyelashes, just like, yeah, just tiniest bit, nothing crazy, but like, I think that matches the other eye better. So look how easy that was. Let's take a little bit, the one last thing I will do for this drawing for now, let's take a nearly black, not quite black, but only like the tiniest bit off of it. It'll appear mostly like that, but when a little more definition on the edges here, we won't worry about it. Make a raster layer, throw it underneath the lines, and just fill! And create that eye definition there. Just like that. Give me fill can again. This is Phil, the can. And usually I will do, if I'm doing not line eyebrows, but brows like this that are like actually made of like a shape of that, you know, are made up of hair, I will usually shade those like I do the hair. I will use the same hair color. You know, as true to, I imagine, biology works. And we'll pop in here and we'll just do a little bit of this, and look at that! Look at that! So we got like the little... I want to put more of that eyelid in there. I guess I never really defined that here, but there's that little lash coming out too, just right here. There's a little thing you can add on to put a little bit of zhuzh into it. Is zhuzh like a real artist word? I don't know, but I'm deciding it is now. And we'll just do that, just like that. Very nice. Just a lash here or there, one here, just to show that you're doing something. Or actually, another fun thing to do, yeah, you've got like the cat eye here of the eye, you've got the lashes there. I will sometimes put another lash here, just like two on top, to create some level of depth, but I'll also put one kind of where the crosshair, or I guess the touching point of the bottom of the eye and the end of the cat eye portion here is. Just a little bit of, a couple of lashes. Nothing crazy, but just like that. It adds something. I don't know what it is, but it's something, and I love it. Do that, and that. Not quite with that one, more to the side of it. This is a fix it till you like it household. Okay. So yeah, look at that. Look at that shit. Look at that. It's so damn cute. But that's how I draw. It takes for fucking ever, but I love it, and I would never stop. It adds style. That's what it does. Thank you. Just girls doing that sorcery with the mascara wings again. No, yeah, have I shared any? I think I have. Actually, I recently did in the not safe for work category, but I know that I shared some images of me in like my full eye makeup recently, and I don't know. I picked it up over time. I do the double wing. I do like this on my eyes, and then I have like this portion come like down at like the middle of it. It's just like, ooh, dark and brooding and cool. But like I don't ever really usually draw that. It's kind of funny. I've never really done that much. And I've drawn a lot of like cute little self-portraits. Oh hey, we found Doom, everyone. Let's fill that in. And then we can, I guess, start calling it for now. But there that is. The only other note I'm gonna make is when you're doing eyes and teeth, and I don't know if I did it on my teeth here, but I did it with my eyes on this model. But when you're doing eyes, or anything that's white but not quite, because like when you're drawing eyes, when you're doing that color layer, which we will, let me create a color layer now, I'll show you, fuck it. Make another layer here, another raster layer, throw on the bottom here, and let's do my little selection tools, shrink selection, let that kind of shrink wrap this around here, yada yada yada. Okay, let's make this, that's not what I wanted it to do. Do I have, I see what it is. Close that up. Where are these? I think I just have some openings here was the issue. You have any openings in the fucking up department, Breezy? Nope, sorry, I got those filled. What am I doing? Oh, hold on a minute. Am I working on all of the layers right now? Am I not doing that? That's why. Using the wrong thing. Duh! Use the layer with the lines on it, Breeze! No, what am I doing? I actually genuinely don't know. Was it area scaling? Is it because... Okay, hold on. Sometimes weird stuff happens in the world of art. Like this. I have no fucking clue what's happening here. That's surreal. I don't know why that's happening. That is... like... Let me look into this for a second. That one is gonna be... That's there. We're using that portion of that layer. I actually genuinely don't know why that would be doing that. Is there like is there a leak in here? No, that is how it should be. So then why is it being a jerk to me? It's being an appendictomy. Close gap, go crazy mode, I guess? I don't know. I have no idea what that is. That's so weird. Well, we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way then, I suppose. Is what we're gonna do. Let's take that and just... I'm just gonna do this for the sake of doing it, because I must. I guess I must, Let's just take like another layer here, and I'll just do this. It's the very convoluted way. I don't know why it's acting up, but I don't really have the energy to figure it out right now. So we'll just take this portion here. That's gonna fill that within a matter of like a couple of pixels there. So then we can just say, okay, let's just unselect this shit. And then we just, we fill it in with the wand inside here, only on that editing layer. And then we'll move over to the next layer we want to use. Jeezy Pete's, don't it take forever, and we'll throw some skin on here. And we'll throw some skin on here. Let's do...
Time to drink up Breezy.
Layer now.
Look at this dumb little PTuber. What's wrong? Pathetic little cat. Can't hold her wee? Gonna wet yourself? Gonna explode all over the place? Bad kitty. Get it together.
Doing the eyes. Let me talk about doing the eyes. Hello, Screaming Blue Guy. So the eyes are a fascinating thing. We're gonna do... What I was talking about with the eyes is you want to have shine on them, right? You want to have like, oh look, here's little things of shininess going on here and spilling on over. Those aren't going to pop if the eyes are like, you know, say, all white. Like that'll spill into there. The shine needs to be shinier than the white. Traditionally, the color rule that I use for that, let me undo that. Instead of white, and I want you to look real close in the corner here, we're gonna say, pull it in from the white so that like this isn't protruding outside the box, this little circle selector, but bring it right inside the box, right there, right inside the square. Bring it to a very light blue. That's your white now. Trust me here. We take this, we put this into, let me just make another layer here and have that refer to the other. I can get rid of this now. But we'll refer this one to the layer below it, and there you go. With these eyes, you're gonna take this portion here and just like fill this in. Sort of that rounded shape that connects all of the other interconnecting points. So it's fairly easy to see how this comes together. But here's an eye, and here's this coloring in this eye. This will read as white, especially when the image is done and all is said and done. This is white, this is an eye. And so you'll take some white stuff when you want to do like, oh hey, here's the shininess on it, here's the big new shiny thingy. And then that will show. You know, it's just a really good rule for that. I'll just show you coloring the eyes though while I'm in here because, again, not gonna take too long. Let's do... Where is my color? There it is. So we'll just stay on this color layer here. Let me take... Let's say she was going to have... I try to tie the hair to the eyes a little bit, sometimes. Occasionally, if it's a color that would contrast well to the hair, I do that. Oftentimes, I'll just use the hair color. You know, because that gives them a little bit more like, yeah, this is very on brand, on character. But let's give her like green eyes, like tealish eyes, like fancy, wonderful stuff. Give it just like a nice strong color, something that really pops right at the corner there, just a very intense boom, not like that, but in a referring to other layers fill. There we go. Now take a look at this. Let's select this portion here just to single it out. Let me use this thingy here. There we go. So we take this portion here. Let's do... Remember the thing I did with the hair where I took like a really dark and a really light version of it? Not as harsh here, but we're going to pull this down to like a slightly more mid-faded grain. And we're going to take this and just give that a little bit of fun here. A little bit of depth here in that iris. And we're going to do some brighter green, just right up here. Just like, yeah, just like right there. I might even go as far as to say, let's make that a smaller brush and a tiny bit brighter. Like, what about, not even a tiny bit, like a lot bit? That's a terminology, right? A lot bit? Look at that. Look at that shit pop. So then the rest of this, we'll take that greenness of it, we'll take this color, and bring that all the way to the, you know, nearly black, but still that color. And fill the pupil with it. If I can unselect this here. I think I just undid the thing I just did, excuse me. Let me fix that. There. So there's that, that's in there. We have, have a dumb thing selected here. There. Well, we'll take this, we'll give it a little bit of a pizzazz, you know, just like, yes, everything here, select it, fuck it, there. Sorry, there we go. That's back where it goes. So here's this, here's that, here's the eye. That's kind of protruding out from the center. You've got some shine on the eye, it looks great. Sorry, let's take the really dark end of this green just right here to really create like that rest of the iris that just kind of pours into the pupil. Just like so. I could even go probably quite a bit darker on that. But let me take this, spill that in here. I need a smaller pen. Okay, and pop that in here. The bangs are gonna spill over, those will have the color of the hair traditionally, but I'm just showing you the eye here. Do this. I'll take a little bit of shininess on here. Let's do the little thing here. One thing that can be good, you don't want to put the shine over a shadow because that doesn't usually make sense, but you can go ahead and take the dark end here. Any shadow layer I do, I tend to make a layer that's just like 24. 24 is my go-to for like, what's some shadow? I can drag the shadow layer a bit, you know, in its opacity if I want to intensify or lessen it, but this is a great place to start. Give a little definition to that eye. Have the point kind of come to the ends, and have it bolden a bit, like in the top middle there. You see what I mean there? That little bow there can do that. Let's take more of this like really light blue here. Fill this in. Let's see, there's depth in that shadow. That shadow. Oh, that shadow though. So then we'll do the shine. And the shine, I tend to put that kind of right around here, like right above where the, kind of somewhere in the middle of where the actual pupil is. And one kind of spilling out from the iris. Let's take a white here, go over here, and just do, not quite there, but like that, I think, looks good. And yeah, look at that fucking eye. Look at that. Look at that shit. That's a damn good eye right there. But yeah, that's really all it is. It's mostly about just getting your shapes defined, figuring out how to work these colors, and as you see here, any amount of shine that spills over here can still be shiny on the eye. It doesn't mess with that. And the eye being a little more muted is a little bit less blinding. It adds more detail. It looks prettier. It's nice. I'll usually use that again on the teeth. Just take that, put it on the teeth. Put that on the teeth. Teeth. That's too much. No tolerance. Close gap. There. Teeth. But yeah, that's how I do it. That's how I done it. But I will finish that in my own time. As for right now, I need to eat food. I am starving, and also, I know I'm closing it up a little bit early, but I'm kind of watching my throat right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it right now, but everyone, thank you for coming on down yet again and watching me do the crazy shit that I do. I'm always happy to do this. It's been a while since I did an art stream, and I'm really glad I finally did one. Light never fades from her eyes, no matter what the trauma she experiences are on her journey. Remember the words from Undertale. Despite everything, you're still you. So let me go. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go say hi to Sarzak, good friend of the channel, Sarzak. Let's go say hello. I'm gonna raid them right now. Let's do raid Sarzak. He's a really cool dude. If you're not already following him, you should. He's been on here, and I'm gonna have him on again probably for more Lethal Company. But everyone, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. This is very fun. Thanks for the lesson. No problem, Raven. Everyone, let's go. Let's raid.